Greetings and salutations and welcome to Flintlocks and Fireballs, where a handful of mad actors will attempt to survive the treacherous waters of Dungeons and Dragons. I am your host and Dungeon Master Jason Phelps, and I am joined as ever by Robbie Bellekom, Sam Black Pudding Burns, and Ellie Sausage Surprise Sparrow.
Is it surprising that I have a sausage? Is it surprising that I am a sausage?
I just want to know what kind of ooze Sausage Surprise is, because the rest of those were monsters in the monster manual.
Oh, am I a monster called a sausage surprise? Because that is disturbing.
That's, yeah. It's like something that drops out of a vent on you or something.
Or just a big penis that
it's inside a
throws
pizza box.
itself round a corner at you. Surprise!
A giant sausage that just broadsides you.
No, mine was a dick. I just full on went there.
Yeah, I imagine like a perambulating mass of bangers and mash.
Oh, little
wow.
Various sizes of sausage. Little chipolatas and like a swarm, like a sausage swarm.
Oh, God.
Oh.
And on that cheerful note,
I'm sad. Let's move on from that.
Today. It's episode 59.
Whoa, it's not quite 69.
No, not for another 10 episodes. So
That's how maths works.
I feel like 59 is just someone sort of sadly killed on top of somebody else.
oh no.
Just like making a little weird 5-shaped ball.
Oh.
And in bingo, they call it the Brighton line, apparently.
Save us from thinking too heavily about that question by instead thinking about the complexities of pushing questions into the future and asking future us what messages from the present. Hey there, it's Future Jason with messages from the present. And once again, all's quiet on the Western Front this week. So check out a message from our friends over at the Roaring Trainers during the break this episode. And otherwise, back to you, Past Jason.
You guys are ridiculous and I love you.
This is all we do when we're around our house together. We just make progressively weirder sounds at each other. It's how we communicate.
I'm not sure if there's anything else to bring up at this stage. I think it might be time for us to just launch straight in for once.
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
So, with that in mind, let's get started on Flintlocks. Yes, that's the name of the show.
Did you forget the name of the show? Oh my
59
god.
episodes!
You are the DM of a show that you've been doing for 59 episodes. Do you even nap before we start?
No, come on. We've all forgotten our PIN numbers before. Let the guy have some slack.
I forgot the name of the planet, so...
Yeah. That's in
It's in the theme tune. Flintlocks and
Fire
Fireballs.
blocks and Fintball. Yeah.
In all fairness, this title isn't in the theme tune, so it's really hard to remember the name of the podcast. It's on the logo,
Yeah.
and like in all of our marketing and everything.
Flintlocks and Fireballs! Our land stands on the saber's edge.
Our cities are a powder keg.
Brother chains brother, no one's free. A life on land is short, you'll see.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.
Previously on Flintlocks and Fireballs. The party have, had some successes of late. And after a particularly momentous event to the south of the village, the town of Treachery, they travelled 300 miles in a blink through a hitherto undiscovered form of magic, tapped into by none other than Scamp, able, it seems, to tear a hole in the fabric of reality for about 6 seconds, long enough to bring them to an ancient platform now located within the highly secure vault of a rich dead man, the party were able to quickly transport themselves to Caen, greatly shortening their distance of travel when heading towards the city of Vendôme, capital of the Royalist Alliance, and the other side of the Sulian Civil War. Their mission? To find the leaders of the three main factions of the Royalist Alliance: the nobility, the church, and the old guard of the Sulian army, and convince them to either sign a treaty to reunite with the northern half of the country controlled by the National Assembly, or at the very least a ceasefire in order to buy time for the army to march north and deal with the imminent assault by a coalition of monarchist nations seeking to put an end to this revolutionary fervour before it gets out of hand. After a tense moment following the sight of a pair of giant eagles flying overhead, and then a little bit of time spent speaking with the enigmatic friend, the spirit inhabiting one of the skulls, the tiny silver skulls that Scamp now carries, Celestia dove into Scamp's mind, searching through their memories in order to try and find answers to some questions, before reaching a point where they did not wish to know any more. After this somewhat shaking experience, you finish conjuring your second horse for the hour and begin riding along your way, travelling further along the path until you begin to approach until evening begins to draw close. It is as the sun is growing lower in the sky on the 14th of First Shoots 1798, you realise that time is coming to make camp, or at least to find a place to do so. It's been a few hours, and fortunately it does not appear that anything has come of the birds that flew overhead. Not yet, in any case.
Oh God.
You're the worst.
I'm so nervous.
Are there any preparations you wish to make, or other things you wish to do on this day before
I'm doing some spells, because that will sway a lot, actually.
Indeed.
I can't remember how I'm doing, so just give me a minute.
Corzin will try and search around for the most secluded place on the road that they can make camp.
Sure. Give me a survival check.
Survival. Okay. That's 11.
Okay. As you are getting closer towards the front, you are beginning to approach areas where people have, when they've started to come closer and closer to where possible fighting is, they've started to become scarcer and scarcer, particularly moving towards towns for protection where they can find it. So you are able to find what appears to be it's not burned out. It doesn't appear to be directly ravaged by war, but there is a cottage that you come across which appears to have been abandoned by its residents, stripped of any valuables or food, but it does provide shelter and somewhere with a roof that one might remain hidden.
It's not much, but at least it means we're not out in the open.
Yeah, don't like the thought of those eagles being able to fly overhead and see us.
And I can put up the silver wire. That'll help a bit.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Out of character for a second. We haven't really done anything with magic today, have we?
Just the read thoughts.
You've done a read thoughts.
Yeah,
you
that was it, I think.
Didn't do that sending. You haven't done a sending yet, I don't think.
No.
And of course, there was the warping reality, but apart from that, yeah.
A warping reality?
Teleport.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I think
Minor
I'm going
thing,
to
that.
because I think I'd left my spell slots on from the Olga fight. I was like, why don't I have any spells? I don't think I did anything with them last time because we were too busy going, she's dead, over and over again.
You scribed once on Adrin, I think.
Yes,
Yes.
that was with the eye, and we still
Yeah.
have 2 charges, I believe,
Yes.
Cool.
which does sway what we can
Yeah.
do.
By the way, your stomach is like it's rumbling a
Oh
little.
no!
Is the sun down
that.
Yeah, the sun is not yet down.
Okay.
It is coming. It will. The sun will come down in maybe half an hour. Causing with that 11, I'll say that you were also in your searching able to find a nest with some birds' eggs in.
Alright. Could I maybe roll a nature check to determine what sort of eggs?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. That is gonna be a 17.
Okay. Yes, these are lesser spotted wagtail eggs.
Alright.
Oh, it's tiny.
Yeah.
Yes.
If it's a
fortu-
wagtail.
Yes, you are fortunately able to find a nest with. I did say it was only a few bird eggs, so there's about 6 of these eggs. This was clearly a profitable, a good time for this bird wherever they are. But yeah, you could use it for maybe get a little bit of garnishing to your rations.
Have you picked one up yet?
Yes. I will have collected them.
Didn't think you'd still like eggs, Corzin.
Meh. Also, it's weird. There's going to be a baby bird in there.
Yes. Well,
I also like being alive, you know?
Yeah, but
What, like a whole one?
yeah.
probably not at this point. And he is going to
Possibly.
start cracking them into a mess tin and sort of whisking them with a fork.
I'm not going to go into the details, but yes, it's fairly early on in the gestation cycle.
So it's like an egg and not like
Yeah.
a bird.
Yes, it's you are eating egg as opposed to unborn bird. I mean, technically it's both, but yeah.
Yeah.
I make it taste nicely spiced.
Yes, of course. It's
Yeah.
prestidigitation.
And this is why you keep away the cockerels from the hens.
Yes, it is.
Yes it is. That makes sense.
Because then you just get eggs.
Yes.
Yep.
Thanks to centuries, if not millennia, of selective breeding, managing to produce a type of bird that lays its periods unfertilized.
Yeah.
Have we got anything else? I'm starving.
Chocolate.
Yeah, fuck it. Can I have some chocolate?
Yes.
Great. Have some chocolate.
Yeah, it's sweet. It's pleasant. Not really filling you up.
I don't know if sugar's doing it.
All feels like empty calories, you know.
Because I need blood, Jason.
You can say it.
You know that interlude guy that went blood, blood, blood. I just want your blood. That's me now. It was foreshadowing. That's what it was.
Oh wow.
So
I fiddle with the straps of my braces and try and take them off.
they can if you're just lightly fiddling, they just refuse to move.
Fuck, I say quietly to myself.
Does Corzin notice this?
I mean, you're not being subtle about it, I assume.
No.
Yeah, and you already know that the braces won't come off.
Yeah.
Do you want a hand with those?
They're not going to come off, darling. I've just got wrist cramp, and I think it's because I've had them on for days.
Well, yeah, I'd imagine so. Although, well, it's not an immediate problem. You're going to have to take them off at some point, aren't
Oh,
you?
do you want to have a go? Go on then. I hold out a wrist.
Corzin is going to attempt to remove one.
Oh, have a go.
All
It's
right,
gonna work
give me
really
an
well.
athletics check.
Athletics, okay.
Just sort of like stare in your eyes, slightly like angry looking, and just go on.
Okay, that is a 17.
You managed to get one of them undone, but the moment you let go, like one of the two straps on it undone, but the moment you let go, just reseals itself.
Saints, damn it!
Yep. Shouldn't have been fiddling, they were just pissing me off.
We should get someone holy to look at these. These are evil.
Yeah.
The cramp in your wrists, it's pretty bad. And
I like sort of turn them around, you know,
Yeah.
when you've got cramp in your wrist and you just sort of move your hands around.
you know when you get that sort of sensation when you're really hungry and you just get that sort of weird urge to bite things? I don't know if anyone else gets this. I get this.
I start chewing my nails.
Yeah. And as the last bits of rays of direct sunlight pass beyond the increasingly more rugged plains as you're starting to enter wine country, you kind of take your sunglasses off, rub your eyes, and there's just that growling just becomes like an empty void in your stomach. So. You are currently... So, all I'm going to say at this point is the timer has now begun.
Oh god.
Okay.
As if I need more side effects. Why am I this stupid? I'm this stupid
Check
because it's
in with
fun.
me. I'll just check in every 8 hours for the effects of this. But
Oh god, I'm gonna be
it's just
full on
an-
fucking vampire.
it's just an
aren't I?
increasing sense of hunger, and your wrists are just sort of you're actually as you look down. As you're kind of like trying to eat your, or essentially just biscuit porridge
Yeah.
with chocolate and a little bit of egg that you've put together.
Chocolate and egg together. Actually, I'm doing this separately.
Separately.
Oh, complete nutter.
Roll me an insight check on yourself, I guess.
Natural 20.
Okay.
Nice.
Ooh.
Your hands look weirdly almost a little, not old, but like dried out. It's like you look dehydrated. You can see the bones on the backs of your hands a little more pronounced than usual. Your flesh looks a little bit more sunken, and weirdly your forearms feel dry.
I get very, very, very fidgety. And light up a pipe. Okay, I'm not good at this, but I feel really awful, and I think I should probably tell you. My wrists hurt, and everything's... But my hands look funny, and I'm starving, and I'm eating this, and it's not changing anything. Food hasn't really helped for the last couple of days.
Okay. Do you remember the last time you didn't feel hungry?
Yeah, before I had the braces on. Like before Olga, before we killed Olga.
You also felt pretty full afterwards.
Oh, actually, no, I felt pretty full after we killed Olga.
Like because you'd eaten recently? Or is this...
I don't know,
'Cause
just
you-
full.
You used them in the fight.
Did I?
Oh. That weird man used them in the fight.
Oh.
I don't think I was around for that.
I did feel weirdly good, despite how injured I was when I came back into my body.
Okay.
Puffing away at this opium slightly, like, too fast, you know?
By the way, roll your addiction check.
Oh, yeah, I've done that.
I'm generally assuming you're just doing this in the
I
background.
forgot that
Yeah.
one, so thank you. I usually do, but... so, back up to 1. Nothing we can do about it in the countryside, but,
Well, I mean, you could use them.
what, like,
See,
get a
if it
creature or
helps.
something?
Well, they do damage, but they're not likely to kill anyone.
What are you suggesting?
That you try them. Well, I won't mind.
I think before we try it on any of us, maybe it would be better to do it on something a little bit smaller, like, if there's some wild animals out there.
I'm gonna go see if there's anything, because I'm just feeling a bit crazy, and if that's gonna help, then let's go suck the life force out of something. Great. I'm gonna go try and find a critter of some description.
Give me a survival check, Celestia.
Yeah, I did roll, by the way, to see if I was
with this?
intelligent enough to tell you both, and I actually
Yes.
rolled high enough that I decided to tell you on this one. It was luck of the draw.
Well, natural 20 on
Ooh.
insight. I think some of that wisdom would have gone over.
That would be a 1. It's a fuck on
good.
the fuck dice.
Okay.
Oh, did I get help from?
I was
going to say, Corzin, given that you are actually somewhat more used to surviving on the surface in the wilds than Celestia, which is at all, before coming up there, yes, you can make your own separate check if you wish.
Right, I shall do so.
Celestia, you accidentally got your foot caught in a rabbit hole.
For fuck's sake.
Okay, survival, that is 17.
What it does, however, flush the rabbit out of another hole. And Corzin, you are just you see it coming out. Just give me an unarmed attack roll to try and grab this rabbit.
Okay. Ooh, that is a... if it's Dex, that's a dirty 20.
Yeah, you just get hold of this rabbit.
Got him!
And it's sort of the coney's just sort of struggling in your hands. You're like trying to keep it in place as you wrestle it over towards Celestia.
He's fighting back a little bit, but
You
do whatever you're
the
going to do.
bunny. Can I keep it as a pet?
Nope. I grab it and use the braces
I will
on it.
call it Mr. Whiskers.
No, you won't.
Okay,
It's
you
fucking
grab hold
dying.
of Mr. Whiskers and for those Scamp, to you see the etchings, the sort of fang and spider motifs glimmer with a purple light that turns red. To Celestia and Corzin, you see purple strands of energy emerge from the braces and sink into the rabbit before turning red as life force is drained from it. Just for the hell of it, roll me the damage. I think it's 3d6.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's gonna kill the rabbit.
Oh,
let's be
yeah.
honest, but so that's an 8.
Yeah. So this rabbit, as this happens, the rabbit deflates. Its flesh just sinks inwards. It's less obvious because of the fur, but it's as if all of the moisture is just drained out of it, and it becomes a dried up husk which starts to just crumble into a chalky grey dust, and a handful of bones in your hands. As it does so, however, the flesh in your hands fills back out, and you feel like you've just had a hearty sort of meal. Whew.
Well, that was disturbing.
Mr. Whiskers.
A handful of whiskers fall to the ground.
Oh.
Well,
You're a monster.
For the remainder of the minute, the braces glow with a dull reddish light.
am I like still hungry?
You're not. You feel like you've had a good a good meal. You could eat more if you wanted, but you're satiated.
Is there anything else about?
Roll another survival check if you want to find more. I'm going to say both, Corzin.
I feel like I've not eaten in a couple of days.
Yeah.
Like, one meal wouldn't do me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if I hadn't eaten in a couple of days, I would have one meal and be like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not done.
Okay.
So that is survival, did
Yeah.
you say? Let me just check. I can't remember what it is with my new modifier. That is a 13, so not amazing.
13. Corzin, are you assisting?
I think, given what I've just seen happen, I am a little bit freaked out by that.
Okay, no, you
I feel like
scrummage
Celestia
around.
does that and then her head just
roll
sort
a
of
bit of
turns
luck,
and she starts
yeah.
looking for anything else, you know?
You plunge your hand in and feel it into the rabbit hole, scurrying between them, and you grab hold of something. And you're pretty sure there is something small, furry, and wriggling.
Take it
and
out.
you just you pull out a baby rabbit
Oh god. Ellie's like horrified by this, by the way.
wriggling in your hand, and
I suck the fucking life out of it.
yep, it desiccates and crumbles. Oh, it's like you just had. It's like Celestia's never had a milkshake, but when they get invented, it will be like you've just had a good old protein shake. It's like you've had a nice steak.
Yeah, after being like starving for a
Yeah.
really long time.
Yeah.
Just sucked the
Right.
life out of a baby rabbit, didn't I?
So we need
Yep.
to find a priest.
I feel loads better. I hate to say that, but I feel
Yes.
really good now.
I'm sure you do, but we need to get those things off you as quickly as possible.
Could go for another one if I'm honest, but I'm not going to.
If you
I'm
touch Jeffrey, I will murder you.
not going to touch Jeffrey, it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, that happened.
It's fine grey dust on your palms.
Put the pipe of opium back in my mouth.
I mean,
I've had the pipe in my mouth this whole time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just the whole time, just puffing away at it, you know? When we're next going to be in a town with a church?
actually, I was going to raise this question on a separate point, but has Corzin ever been to Vendion before?
No, too far inland.
Too far inland. Okay, cool.
And I think
It'd
it's
be
come up
reasonable to
previously.
assume that there's a church or a cathedral there, being as it's a city.
Oh yeah, you are certain there is a cathedral there.
Right.
Roll a quick history check.
Okay. That is a 16.
It is the cathedral's patron saint is Saint Sebastian, the patron saint of vintners,
Ah,
wine country.
of course. I relay this information, and I
Sounds
say,
great.
well, hopefully there'll be someone there who has the ability to help you take those off.
That would be nice.
As long as there's no kind of deal involved, I'm game. If there's a deal involved, I'm just gonna... Actually,
I
this-
mean, you'd hope not, that being as they are clergymen.
Yeah, I'm just paranoid, I think. A pertinent question. Mm-hmm. I was about to say a sentence and I realised I don't know if I can or not. Are vampires a thing in Calcinea?
Roll an Arcana check.
Okay.
Law.
18... No, 19. Sorry.
19. You've heard of the myth of vampires, but you're pretty certain they're a myth.
So it's like vampires here,
Yeah,
basically.
like, you've never heard of a credible report of a vampire. Like, they are a known concept, but in the way that
Yeah.
vampires are here.
So, it appears I'm a fucking vampire now.
Oh, good.
Oh dear.
I'm sure that'll be fine in our negotiations
Yes,
with the...
I will go. I best make sure I've trained a rabbit before we go in, otherwise I might go crazy.
Let's perhaps see if we can get this particular thing sorted out before we go and start negotiations, if at all possible.
Be really nice, but I'm so not counting on it because I know we're going across the front line, and where the fuck are we going to get it sorted out over there?
Well, in theory, the clergy are supposed to be, well, at least loyal to the Holy Mother before they are loyal to the political systems of a country. So, there shouldn't be that conflict, and you are literally a person in need.
Yeah, I suppose so. I'm also a drow, and they're very clearly drow made, which I don't feel is going to help my case. Definitely looks like I've done this on purpose. Which I suppose I did.
A little bit.
Just smoke my pipe.
Oh.
I mean, if you'd known that this would be this would have been the results, I don't think you'd have put them on, would you?
Nope.
Yeah, you would.
Probably not. I don't know.
I honestly don't know if you'd still be alive if you hadn't.
Oh, well, that's comforting, at least. It
Because
was
you
the right
used
thing
them
to do.
you used them a lot in that fight. Well, the other man used them a lot in that fight.
There's somebody else in my body. That's disturbing.
Ooh. It is when you put it like that.
It's quite scary, really, isn't it?
Yeah. It didn't do much.
We really should look forwards and see why they have a fuckload of shadow eggs.
That's probably a wise thing.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
pressing, because it was quite obviously in maybe the 60s, I would guess. But, we should do that at some point, maybe when we're done negotiating, because that is worrying, and I wonder if it's
Yeah.
tied to the end of the world at all.
Yes.
Because you could end the world with, like, 5 of them, and there were, like, 5.
You put them in the right places, certainly, yeah.
Yeah, if you put one on, every continent or whatever. I don't know if there are 5 continents in Calcinea. I said that and then was like,
There
hang on.
are certainly at least 5 continents.
Yeah.
I got 1, 2, 3 and a half. 4 that you know of. Yeah, 4 that you know of, although in fairness, Sunder is really 2 continents.
Yeah, fair.
Oh.
And let's be honest, Jova's a bit like Europe. It's a continent, but it's not really a
Oh,
continent.
touchy issue at the moment, darling.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what's going to have happened by the time we put this out.
Oh,
Let's not talk about
Let's
real
not talk
life
about
politics.
that.
Let's talk about game politics. That's much
Yes.
less scary.
Yeah.
Although it's not. So yeah, if we find someone, we should probably make me not a vampire. That would be good. Also,
Yes.
though, it is
Sounds
really
like a good
useful in a
plan.
fight, but probably still bad.
Yeah.
What else did we have to do this evening before we sleep?
I'm really tired. My brain's all fuzzy and I
Well-
punched a hole in the world today. So I'm going to sleep.
We should
That's
probably
fair
send.
enough.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, I've got
we were
spells.
going to try and figure out what happened to the king.
Yeah,
Or
what
what's
happened to the
happening
king? Any new information we need, basically, in terms of the king and also
Well, the king's family.
the king's family, and I think that's it for now, isn't it? Really. Shall I ask for Savat
yeah.
again?
Yeah.
If you can get Savat to send to you, yes.
Yeah, I think it's worth talking to him directly because that won't be
Yes.
weird misinformation. I trust him. Also, it can be any time this evening. If he's in a meeting, it's not actually urgent. It can happen any time, really. So
Alright.
I guess I send to the sending mage. I gather all my spirits together in a ball. I talk into them like it's a walkie-talkie, and I say, "It's Celestia Stardust.
Nice to
Need
meet you.
to speak to Savat. Not urgent, but tonight good." We'll be negotiating quite soon. Let us know when we can speak. I believe that was 25. I forgot how many fingers I had. It was a weird experience. So it might have
certainly
been more, it
wasn't
might have been
more, I
less,
don't-
I'm not sure.
yeah.
What was that?
I said it certainly wasn't more.
Good.
Yeah.
It might have been 20, it might have been 25, I'm not sure.
The spirits flash away and then return. Message received. Will person Savat will respond via me once available. Louis out. And that's it from Louis the Sending Mage.
Oh, he's got a name
Louis,
Yes.
we should have asked their name sooner.
now. We
Well,
have
we were given their name.
25 words and have been negotiating the fate of a country every time we've
But
talked
we
to
were
him. I don't
there.
feel bad.
We met the person.
Okay, that is bad, yeah, fair enough.
We're rude.
I'm sure Louis is used to it. I'm tired.
Right.
We also have a couple of scries left on this thing if we want to look at anyone. I'm tempted to look at Adrian again because that was really weird.
That's not a bad idea.
I'd like to look again because I'm legitimately terrified and we're going straight towards him, so might
No,
be
that's
good.
fair
That's fair.
We then have one more. Any requests, any thoughts?
Well, you did mention that you wanted to check out Kion in the year that now appears to be the year that Olga wrote down in her will.
We could.
How much do we trust Savat?
I mean, quite a lot personally, but how do you
'Cause
feel?
I'm just thinking we could find out what he says is going on and then look at the king.
Oh, you have a point.
That's a fair thing.
Yeah, or wait until he says something and look at anything that might be useful from what he says.
Yeah.
We will also have, I mean, as far as I'm like out of character for a second, we will not get to this place tomorrow, we will get there the day after.
Yes,
Yeah.
you are currently slated, assuming you do not run into too many problems, crossing the front tomorrow.
I mean, yeah,
You are expecting to arrive sometime around the morning of the 16th.
cool. So we can also look at some stuff tomorrow if we need to, because we won't get there tomorrow.
Useful.
Okay.
So that's good to know. So we've got basically 5 until we get to the place. So maybe let's do one on Adrian tonight, and then when Savat calls, we will do another one if there's anything that he says that we want to look at, or just look at the king, which is also a pretty decent idea.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could also try looking at some of the leaders that we are going to talk to, if that would be helpful, but that might not be helpful. That might just be looking at people for no reason.
Would
It's a
they
little
not?
bit invasive.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care about it being invasive. I'm just trying to work out if it's useful. I know it's bad that I don't care, but I don't.
Where's we're at this point?
It's worth trying, but I know that if I were in their position, the first thing I would do is proof wherever my headquarters was against
You'd
Scry.
probably proof the tent, actually, wouldn't you? If there's a tent where major negotiations are going on, you're quite right. I'd probably proof it.
It'd probably be a building,
Not if they're near the front.
possibly.
Depends, doesn't it? You know. But no, you're right. It's probably not a useful thing. We'll probably just waste one.
If there's something that Savat says that us doing that would be actively helpful with, maybe, but otherwise, no, keep it in reserve.
I do also have quite a few spells left tonight, so if we need to send back and forth with him a little bit, I can do that.
That's useful.
Which is nice. I can do sending. How many times can I do sending now? Like 4 more times,
Oh,
which isn't
that's
bad.
good.
So if we need to talk to him like more extendedly, we can, which is a nice thing because you never know. We might have questions from what he says, and we do need to be as well informed as we can.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I guess we wait for that. But while we're waiting, shall I look in on
Yeah.
dear
Yes.
fucking brother?
Okay.
Hopefully he's not.
Oh, shut up. Oh, right.
I know what
just
you meant.
watched a baby rabbit die. Don't make me also think of my brother doing things to people.
Baby whiskers.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna just spin the eye and pretend that didn't happen. Show me my brother! I say hurriedly when Scamp starts getting sad about the rabbit.
Okay. You focus. 10 minutes pass. You plunge into the sea of possibilities, and you focus in on a particular orb. You get a brief image for a moment of Adrian again in his disguise, with face painted up to look like a high elf, is making his way through country. You can hear the distant sound of cannon fire.
Is there a name anywhere on him? Like paper sticking out of a pocket?
Before
anything?
you can look at that, though, for once, his head suddenly perks up, looks to the side for a moment, closes his eyes, puts his hands together, touching his thumbs to his forehead, almost as if in prayer, and then lashes quickly to the side with one hand, passing through your form and touching and breaking the edge of the bubble. He peers into where you were for a moment, but already the bubble has begun to break, and it seems whatever resistance training he was taught, the same as you were taught long ago, though you weren't very good at it, is enough to break the scry.
When he sort of slashes into me, I start actively swimming away through the water.
Yeah.
Panic happens.
But the bubble collapses inwards, and you return to the surface.
Yeah, you see Celestia get up and scramble away from the eye, stand up and get away.
You alright? What happened?
He saw me. Well, he didn't see me, but
He threw it off. Well, it was bound to happen at some point.
I mean, it hasn't happened up until this point. Apparently more fucking stupid than he appears.
That's comforting to know.
It's all a bit scary, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't suppose you got any indication as to where he was.
No, same disguise, but fuck all else.
Ugh. Baka.
As you are ruminating around the fire,
I get the whiskey out.
as you're pouring do you pour yourself any of the whiskey? Or do
No,
you just
I never pour myself
pour the
whiskey.
You just go straight
I
to the bottle.
literally never pour myself whiskey.
As you have the first mouthful kind of halfway down your throat, you feel a sudden awareness in your mind. So that is here. He asks you to report. What questions have you for him? Speak. I think that was actually only 15 words, but conveys the point.
Celestia, as soon as she hears a voice in her head, kind of still breathing fast from the Adrian thing, you see her scramble out and get a notebook and write down report what questions with a question mark and holds it up to you.
All right. Suppose you could tell him how far away from Vendium we are. You could.
In Vendion by morning 16th, I say, and hold up 5 fingers.
All right. What is the status of the king and his family?
Of king and family.
Important for negotiations.
Important for negotiations. Tell us. I do at primary school where you do 10 fingers and then 5 fingers.
Yeah.
10, 5, so that I've done 15.
All right.
Any other important information?
Yeah. Because we haven't had any up-to-date information on where the fighting or the front lines even are.
Fighting, front lines, I hold up 4 fingers, and then I've got 4 words left.
Okay. Would him knowing how many more sendings you have be of any use?
I kind of like shrug nod. Obviously, I can't speak, so.
Okay.
Let me out
I
of character for a
believe you
second.
have 3 left.
Because
you said you had
said
4 initially.
No. I think I had 4 after I'd done that.
Oh,
one.
okay. My apologies.
But
Okay.
let me just check. Yeah, I've got 4 left. 4 sendings left. Report.
Today.
Yeah. Okay. You don't have to send away the spirits for once. You just
because they're not
respond,
mine. Yeah, of course.
and you feel the words taken away by some force. It's very strange, this going this way around. And yeah, the whatever arcane force does the carrying is not visible to your spirit sight.
Ah, interesting.
Ooh.
No.
Interesting.
A mage, but not necessarily one that uses spirit stuff the way I do. Interesting.
So, there's a delay before you receive a response. King, family en route to Alessandre. House arrest. Unfortunately, rumor of flight spread, demoralizing. Radical support gained, demanding treason trial. Cannot pretend king support. I believe that's 25 words as the spell returns to you.
Okay.
I write all this down and relay it.
A
Okay.
few moments later, you actually feel a second sending come through.
I hold up a hand, like,
Because
and get my
more
pencil
additional,
out,
because
like,
there is
things are
additional
happening.
information coming. Actually, yeah, second information come through. Contact made on northern front. Colonel Misson, advance to line. Many thanks. Holding until further reinforcements can arrive, but cannot push back without further support. That's 25. And now you have... weirdly, you can feel both spells in place. You have up to 50 words of response.
What, like? how
Because
does that-
one
because
sending
I
has
responded
come
already,
through.
didn't I?
Yes, you responded to one.
Yeah.
So you respond... So...
that doesn't work. That doesn't make sense.
No, but they've sent you 2 sendings now in a row. So they sent you 1 sending. You responded to it. They then sent you 2 sendings, one quickly after the other, to answer your questions. So and both of those are waiting. It's kind of like pinging in your mind for a response.
Okay.
So you can answer one and then the
okay.
other.
I, like, again, primary school style, flash 10 fingers 5 times.
Oh.
All right.
And, like, point at the paper where I've just speed written everything down.
Yeah. You kind of peer at Celestia's scribbled shorthand.
All right. I'm honestly not sure what's of any great use to them at this point that we know that they don't.
Out of character for a second. Have we already discussed our treaty points at this point? Can we have done that?
I
over
will
the
say,
day?
yes. So I was going to actually narrate this happening, but yes, I'll say that while you were having dinner, after after the nightmare of Mr. Whiskers and Baby Whiskers' demise, I will say, for the purposes of narration, that you guys did sit down and over the remains of dinner, discuss amongst yourselves your plans for what to do. You read through Savat's secretary's notes on the various points, and for the sake of sanity, we're not going to go into the whole conversation that was had, but you will summarise that when you get
that
to
was
the negotiation.
a very long conversation that we had out of character and had to go over everything, and it's a bit much for recording, so you're going to hear it when we negotiate it rather than
but
the out
you've
chat.
taken some time to discuss your points and reach a platform that you think you can go ahead with.
I write down in my notebook anything in treaty arrangement we want to talk to him about, ?
Well, the thing we didn't work out whether it's possible to give the church's lands back. Also, we should know if there is a trial for the king. I mean, the punishment seems like, if he's found guilty, seems pretty obvious, but what's the punishment for the rest of his family?
Oh yeah, that's the point.
Because that might be something that people are willing to negotiate on.
Because if he's given a fair trial and found guilty, he's definitely for the chop, but what happens to his family?
I don't say that out loud. That was out of character. I just realised I can't say anything in character. I nod. I write down Adrin with a ?
Oh.
I write down our side with a ? next to it.
Yeah, that's worth knowing. We want to know who he's killing for.
Yeah, alright, tell him there is a...
I write down No's name. As in, like, he knows the name.
Tell him that... Yeah.
So I point at the points that are next to each other. I point at the... I've written it all down in my book as Celestia. I point at a point that says church land, punishment for family of king, Adrin our side, and then I shrug like anything else.
Can't honestly think of anything right now that he wouldn't already know.
Okay, I start speaking. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Out of character, what was it about the church land? I'm really having a brain fart. Out of
whether
character.
it's possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a precedent for taking land from churches before?
Yeah.
Is this going to cause a big old religious war?
Is there precedent for taking church land? Can we give it back? Will it cause war? So that is 16. Punishment for king and family. So that's 21. Adrin Drow shooting royalist side sniper. Our side now? I flash up 3 lots of 10 like I've done 30.
Alright.
Out of character, I'm just going to look through my notes for this treaty and see if there's anything that
Maybe ask if he has any intelligence whatsoever on whether or not there is an Underdark connection with the Royalists.
Underdark connection with Royalists? Celestia's shrugging at both of you. No, anything else?
can't think of anything else.
No, neither
I'm
can
sure
I.
there is.
All right.
Glad to hear Miss and okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can end the sending early. You don't need to. film
Any
them.
other news at
Okay.
all?
Yeah.
Bye.
The 2 sendings go off.
That's still only 45 actually, so
Yeah.
I did end it early.
That's fair.
And a short while later, there is a response. Sultan Feroz, Church Seizure President. Returning difficult. Would need replacement cash. Debt. Not aware during hours. Royalist Eben Guard contingent with Underdark liaison in Vendôme.
Oh.
End. That's 25.
That's got to be your sister, hasn't it?
Maybe. I can't send back from that, am I right?
That was to you, so you can send back from
Oh,
that.
I can send back. I
Yeah,
did
we
not
got
say
lost
that,
on the
I'm
various,
sorry.
but they
Yeah.
have now sent
Out
to
of
you
character.
several times.
I got
Yeah.
lost. Lady Quilena, Drow, any connection? Hang on, I'm just going to out of character look at my notes again because there is a lot on this treaty that we have written down. Fines for noblemen in prison. Bail. Fair trial. Punishment seizing assets. Could pay some debt. I send it away.
Okay.
Good idea.
Alright. So you do get a response. Further questions send. Out of spells. It's the first 8 the words. Then unsure identity liaison. Trust you entirely
Ugh.
to negotiate.
Oh no!
Could pass assembly if worded well. Good luck. Farewell.
Why does he trust us?
I don't know. But I thought of a possible way to sort that church thing of getting them land back eventually.
Go on.
They have to buy it back through taxes. It would take time, so we wouldn't immediately have to give it back.
That's pretty fucking genius, actually.
Yeah, actually.
They won't like it, but it's pretty good.
They get
Also
the
it-
land back eventually.
Hang on, I can't send back from that, can I?
So you've
I'm
just
sorry.
accidentally
No. Out of character, I'm really confused.
you can send
I don't
back
want you
from
to take
this
that.
if you want
Like,
to have scribbled those. You can. Sorry, this is all them sending to you. In fact, they're out of spell
Okay,
slots.
I'm sorry. That's me being out of character tired, so
Yeah,
can we
don't
not
worry.
hold me to that if that's alright?
It's fine.
I hold up again 25 in terms of fingers and just like shrug, hold my arms out.
If you guys don't have anything else to say, that's fine.
I just want to give you two an option.
Can you ask him to say sorry to that guard whose mind I went in?
Sister shakes her head. I shrug like anything else.
Jeffrey
Okay.
says hi.
Suggest purchase of church lands with taxes.
Suggest purchase of church lands with taxes.
Paid by church.
Paid by church. Get back over time. Idea. Okay.
Yeah, like you've got
Reasonable.
Reasonable.
Okay, is that it? Because I think you're like 80
Bye.
minutes
Good luck yourself. Bye.
in. You feel the sending go, and you get no further responses because they're out of sending spells for the night. So yeah, you.
You'll probably get one at some point tomorrow.
Or you
Maybe
could,
if we make it a good rate that they buy it back at, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
So it's a little bit
yeah.
sugar coated.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is the bit about the church land?
Yeah.
Buy back with taxes. There we go.
Okay.
And charity work. Great. Lovely.
So.
Do we want to scry anything from that? That's the other thing. I've got another one.
If
Oh,
What about
If
my
your
sister?
I was gonna say, if your sister is the liaison, and that does seem likely, maybe try scrying on her again.
Hang the fuck on. How specific does this need to be? Could I just say, show me the liaison for the Ebon Guard fighting in Vondion?
You could try.
I'm going to
might
let
That
Jason
certainly
look
answers
at
the
the
question.
This is
if it
where
was-
the
player's
DM needs to take the
handbook.
if it
skills.
wasn't your
Jason is
sister.
looking at the player's handbook.
Yeah,
so,
because there's a certain latitude given for
but I don't know if you can use it to like get information.
for future past searching for like going for show me the person.
I
That
feel like
does
that might be a bit
this.
loose for scrying. I feel like you have to have like seen them to
but
be able to
with-
be like that, you know?
It
think you
might
need to-
lower the DC to resist it.
She's really good at resisting it anyway. But it's her.
The particular. So the thing is, with normal scrying, like which this is, so scrying in the present, the rules are more as it is in the scrying spell. So it is seen here a particular creature you choose. Oh, that is not specific. That is a particular. Okay, so that's still up to me to go for.
DM call, up to you,
DM
darling.
call.
I will take what you give.
Show me the liaison to. That's to. That's to
I would show
ambiguous.
show me the liaison for the Ebon Guard who are fighting in Vondion. The liaison with the Underdark for the Ebon Guard who are fighting in Vondion. But
Hold up. Give me a moment to think about how the eye works.
okay, Jason's
Okay.
showing a face. It's very exciting. He's looking up to the sky.
Can you see the cogs going
I
round?
can. I can hear the clicking. It's exciting. It just explodes at the end of the table. I wouldn't blame him. We throw some real
If
shit
I was
at him.
okay, here's the thing. If I was in a different campaign, would this work? If someone said, "Show me the lich that is terrorizing the people of Brighthall," and if the answer, which I guess I would say was probably yes, that would be sufficient because it is identifying a specific entity. So therefore, okay, yes, that you feel like this is like. Yeah, upon like if you want to try that, you feel like the from your knowledge of how this eye works, that's specific enough to give you a reading, assuming that such a creature,
I mean, I suppose,
an entity
like,
exists.
From Celestia's logic, I have gone, show me those people in that carriage over there.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that has
Right,
worked.
it's
It
not
is
been
it is a
specific before.
sufficiently unambiguous identifier.
Yeah.
All right.
So I spin the eye. I say, show me the Underdark liaison who is dealing with the Ebon Guard Legion who are fighting in Vondion.
Okay. You plunge down.
If Legion was the right word. Oh, well.
Yeah, knowing what I know about the area they're in. Again, you look around. No sight of a bubble. Feels like you get the feeling that they're probably in an area which is consistently sanctumed. And return.
Fuck it.
Just thinking about, unfortunately, knowing where that person is, that area is sanctumed.
It's probably my fucking sister and I hate her. Why is she always fucking sanctumed?
Because she knows that this is a thing that people can do.
Roll an Arcana or a history check, your choice.
That is a 25 for
Okay.
Arcana.
So Arcana, yeah. You often, for individuals, or more accurately governments, which are sufficiently wealthy, it has become the standard practice in the last 100 years, since mages have become common enough to do this, to go through the laborious process of making sanctum effects permanent on important military or political structures, such as palaces, castles, and major permanent military installations.
So whatever's in Vondion, yeah.
Hence the reason why you can't scry on the courts of justice and you can't scry on the mirrored palace.
Yeah, makes sense.
Fucking sanctumed.
Yeah, you're aware that a sanctum spell, if consistently cast for a year, will bed in a permanent capacity.
Oh yeah, no, we've said this before, I remember. Well, fucking bugger and balls. Basically.
We had to try, didn't we?
Yes.
Oh well.
Those were two useless fucking uses of this thing, weren't they?
Well, there's nothing lost in track. Also, I mean, and this is if you're up to it, but you mentioned beforehand that you have a thing with this eye that you don't like to put it down.
It's not that I don't like to. I never have actually put it down. There was just that time you took it off me and it hurt, and we haven't really gone near that since.
Alright, well, look, we're in a house now. Just put it on the floor and take a step back from it. See what happens.
I do so.
Okay. You take it out of your pocket and go to put it on the ground. So, one moment while I just get something.
Oh god, he's rifling through notes.
no.
Listen to him, you can hear the fucking paper rustling.
All right.
I wish you could see how smug Jason looks at this second.
Do I look smug? I don't know.
A little bit.
I can hear smug.
Can you please make a charisma saving throw?
Oh god. Come on, Bard. Oh, it's not terrible. Hang on. What the fuck is my new save? We've leveled up not that long ago. That's a 21.
You go and it comes out and you can't quite get your fingers to open when you put it on the ground, and it's like you have to will your fingers to move, and it's almost like you're fighting against yourself, but you manage to get your fingers just open enough for it to drop to the ground. You feel an immediate wrenching sensation in your chest.
I try and get up.
It's like your limbs are made of lead. You have to use every ounce of sense of self you can to push yourself away from this, and then and that sense of wrenching, of something being pulled away from you, doesn't stop.
Hang on, I'm just rolling something out of interest. I'm going to try and play it off like it's less bad than it is.
Okay.
I rolled a 19, if anyone would care to contest.
Yes, I will try.
Okay,
I'm
insight.
like, this
Make an
character's a
insight check
fucking
if you
idiot,
wish.
and that is what I would do. I'm sorry.
7.
Yeah, 7.
Celestia kind of seems a little
She's
reluctant,
fine.
but puts it down and a little bit slowly stands up.
Alright, well that's something at least.
Yep.
That could be so much worse.
Alright. Do you feel like you can take another step back from it?
I'm not intelligent enough to tell you how bad it is. I rolled.
Okay.
Yeah, I try and take another step back from
You
it.
do. It's, again, like your limbs are made of lead, and as you do so, that sense of wrenching gets stronger as you move away from it. It's like it feels like there is a very physical connection between you, like there's a muscle you're not aware you have being strained near breaking point.
I keep going,
Okay.
like, for as far as I physically
Go.
can.
And you go, and that sense of pain gets stronger and stronger, and you get all the way to the other end of the cottage before you feel. Just take one last step, and every step it gets harder and harder, but you just will yourself going further with that Christmas save.
My deception's still pretty good at
yeah.
this point. I am rolling, like, every couple.
Fair enough.
And you feel the
Still really
connection snap. So roll a d4 for me, please.
Oh dear.
Oh, that was cocked. Hang on. 4.
You immediately gain 4 points of exhaustion
Oh,
as the item unattunes from you. So
Yeah, that's a 1 on my last deception, so I, like, fall over.
Okay, well, no, that's worse than it was.
Whoa.
I rush over to her and try and guide her gently to the ground.
What happened? Are you all...
That feels really, really bad.
Okay, so at level 4 exhaustion, you have
Oh,
disadvantage
God,
on
I'm
ability
fucked.
checks. Your speed is halved. You have disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws, and your hit point maximum is halved as well.
Oh my god, that's really bad.
Shit. Okay.
Disadvantage on what?
Everything.
Basically everything with a d20 right now,
Okay.
and your speed is halved, and your hit point maximum is halved. And it just feels like you've had your heart ripped out.
I'm gonna go back to it immediately.
You stumble slowly back, and this time your limbs feel like lead, not because of the resistance, but because it feels like all of the energy has gone from them. Your mind feels foggy and blurry, like you can't think straight, because your intelligence is now what it was originally. And you kind of stumble down next to it.
Yeah, I like kneel down and pick it up.
As you pick it up, you can still feel it, like just the distant feeling of the waves. And bit by bit, you feel some part of you start to reach back, but it's slow, it's pained, like it's injured, trying to make that connection again. You could reattune, but it will take you a short rest to do
Yeah,
so.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, this really hurts. I have to stay here. I can't.
That's alright, that's alright.
Okay, you don't look good.
No, you really don't.
Everything's foggy. Yeah, that really fucking hurt.
Would Corzin be able to tell that she's unattuned from it?
I mean, there's not really a way to do that, but, unless you can put two in. But I'd say putting 2 and 2 together, you can definitely tell that she's not in a good state.
Alright. Alright, now... I think that the takeaway from this is that is at least possible, but I am really not liking what that's doing to you.
Well, me neither.
I feel a bit like my heart's been ripped out.
Okay.
Corzin is going to... Actually, no. He would know that Lesser Restoration wouldn't do that.
Doesn't do it for levels of exhaustion.
Help this.
I think you need to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit down.
As you kind of just clutch it gently and turning it between your shaking hands for over the next hour, you can feel those tendrils re-emerge, and bit by bit you can feel that sense of connection to something vast, something greater than yourself, slowly begin to repair. The fog starts to clear from your mind. The life starts to return to your limbs. It's like a part of yourself is slowly, achingly healing back. It takes a full hour.
I sit in a weird corner of the cottage and do it, yeah.
But by the time the hour has finished, your breathing is stabilized again, and you feel a little bit more yourself. You regain all but one of the levels of exhaustion.
One is doable.
You feeling better?
Yeah, still a bit tired, but
I think we all
Alright.
need a good night's sleep.
Yes, I think that's a very good idea.
I'm inclined to agree.
Although,
Although
at
what?
least this proves that you can willingly give it up if you need to, which is more than can be said for those bracers right now.
Thanks, Corzin. Great, thank you. Sam, really fucking helpful, actually. Thanks.
I'm sorry, I'm just worried about you.
You can be as worried as you like. Not gonna make any difference.
Corzin is silent for a moment, and then he says, Just get some rest. And he goes away and gives her some space.
You begin to settle down to rest. In what order are you taking your watches, if any?
I think Corzin will take the... Oh, sorry. Go on.
As you're walking away, I said, I'll take the first watch. I can't fucking sleep.
Celestia, as the others rest, roll a perception check.
12.
You stare. You bank the fires from your campfire so that they're not producing too much light. And just watch out of the narrow windows of the cottage. Nothing comes. Nothing passes. Eventually you move to wake up the second person on watch.
I have spoken to you about a plan
Yes.
out of character that I've not spoken to the other two about, so I'm being very cagey. How does that work with my wrist? How much
While
of a
it is
rest do I get?
ongoing, it will delay the amount of rest you've had by as long as it goes on.
Okay, but I can still get
You can
rest
catch it
after
up,
it.
yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Alright.
Let me know when somebody else is on watch and I'm going to sleep and I'm going to do
So
a
who
thing.
would like to take a second watch?
I can take the second watch.
Okay. You wake up Corzin and sort of quietly make your way to sleep.
I drink a bit on my watch.
Yeah.
And as I'm about to go to sleep, the rainbow spirit's sort of fidgeting a bit, it's fidgeting about, and it sort of like goes into my bag. What are you doing? And and it's fiddling about with a few bottles in there. Okay, what are you pointing at? I take out the small bottle of gnomish brandy. Well, this seems like a terrible idea. Okay. It then starts fiddling about in some sand that's next to me. You're going to get that on my fucking pillow. What are you doing?
Some little puffs of sand.
If I open this, will you shut up? I open the gnomish brandy and dip a finger in it and like hold it out. Would you want this? What do you want?
It sweeps around the sand, then around your finger, then vanishes into your finger. And you kind of feel it, of all things, weirdly inside you.
Mm.
I then feel like I get extremely sleepy, and the rainbow spirit goes over me like a duvet, if Corzin were looking over. And
sort of exudes out of you.
should I be explicit and say what I'm doing at this point?
I think so, yeah.
I'm going to cast Dream.
Ooh.
Interesting.
So, I have some special rules for the dream spell.
I mean, we're in
this setting.
Calcinea. Why do you think I fucking took this spell?
So the rainbow spirit kind of exudes out of you and covers you like a duvet. You feel yourself getting sleepy. You lie back onto your bedroll and feel yourself drift off into something like sleep, though not quite sleep. I'm going to come back to what happens to you shortly. In the meantime, Corzin.
Yep.
Can I have a check from you? Can I have a perception check from you, please?
You certainly can. Okay, that is a... Ooh, that's a 12.
Okay. Your watch is quiet, uneventful. You do watch as when Celestia goes to sleep, though. You see the rainbow spirit kind of cover her like a duvet, which is weird. And there's a moment where you swear you can almost see like an echo of Celestia in rainbow light sit up and then fade for a moment. But that's it. Celestia continues to slumber for some time. When your watch ends, Scamp, you take over. Can I ask you to roll a perception check for me, please?
Yep. 7.
Your watch is uneventful. And I'm actually going to go backwards slightly in time and take a look at Celestia.
So dumb, guys.
So, let's see. I'd just like you to roll me a straight up luck check, please.
Okay. 17.
17. As you drift into something akin to sleep, you can feel yourself drifting upwards and outwards. And you kind of, it's like there's a warmth around you. quite a gentle sort of warmth, actually. Gentler than you might have expected. And you can actually hear the sound of birds. There's lightness on your eyes. And as you open them, there is bright sunlight, but not as harsh as sunlight actually is. You don't wince, and you kind of reach up and you realise you're not wearing your glasses, your sunglasses. You look down. You are wearing, you're wearing your fancier clothes, but they're not, there's none of the travel stains or marks you would expect. And as you sit up, you realise that you appear to have been reclining on some sort of white marble chaise longue style outdoor bench. You are in a brightly lit orchard, of all places. It appears to be a lovely, shiny sort of day. The birds are twittering away. And yeah, there's a kind of a optimistic mood. As the golden sunlight shines down, you can see it reflects off leaves, off these trees, which themselves have gold and silver leaves and gold and silver fruit. So, what do you do?
The first thing I do is I sit up and I go, the fuck is a chaise longue doing in a fucking forest?
You look around, there are a number of other chaise longues dotted around this very comfortable exterior locale.
What does it feel like? Does it feel like a dream, or does it feel different?
It feels akin to a dream, but you're very loose. You feel more in control of your faculties. There's not that sort of gentle sense of coasting along with the flow that you get. It's more like, there's elements that feel like you're in a dream, but it's lucid dreaming. You know, you're together.
I can figure out what's happening.
Yeah. This is not an area you've been in before.
What the fuck am I doing here?
As you look around, you can see a pair of ghostly figures of what appear to be a young human man and woman are helping each other reach up. Kind of one's on the other's shoulders, and they're reaching up and grabbing some of the apples, which on one of the trees it is apples. Others have strange fruit, and they break it in half, and both kind of seem to. The ghostly forms eat the very physical-looking apples and laugh and skip away together before fading.
Oh, okay, this is a new level of creepy. I look around to see if there's anything familiar.
Okay.
Anywhere.
Give me a perception check.
5.
You have not been in this place before. This orchard seemed to continue for some distance, although you can see there off to one side there are, like in the distance, you think you can make out maybe a cliff or something far away beyond these beautifully planed orchards. And every now and again, just these ghostly images of people will appear for a few moments and act out some sort of scene or portion of a scene before vanishing away.
Oh shit. Fuck. Bollocks. I run in a random direction and try and get out of the forest.
Okay, roll me a d4.
Oh god.
1.
1.
You run towards the cliff.
I stagger to a halt just before the cliff.
Okay, no, you have to walk some distance. As you run towards the cliff, you begin to leave the cheerful birds behind, and the light seems to slowly grows a little bit less golden and just ordinary sunlight, and then a bit more sallow. And it's hard to tell the transition point, but the clouds appear in the sky at first and fold over the sun, and then it seems that they pass and the sun grows dark. And as you look you very quickly find yourself running as the trees stopped. They lose their fruit, then they become have less leaves, they grow barren, and you find yourself on the edge of wide cliffs. Beneath you can hear the crashing of waves. But it's not waves, or it is, but the waves aren't water.
Oh god.
Not real water, at least. You look down and you can see beneath cliffs of black rock is the crashing of teeth.
Oh, this place again.
Vast, tides of teeth crashing against the edge of whatever this place is. There is a low, howling wind.
Okay, Celestia starts to visibly panic.
You look around and you realise that there are... The trees here aren't trees anymore. Or at least not trees of wood. They're trees of bone. And there are what appear to be dull, white, dead fingers growing through the black sand of the ground. You realise you've seen here before when you looked into the hole in the world when you fought the nightmare. You're in the Fingerwoods.
Oh.
I spin in a small panicked circle for a second. And just go, oh fuck. Jet!
Let's see if something hears your call.
Ah!
Something.
Oh god.
You can see there's one of the larger trees. A pair or like a long-fingered hand curls around the edge of the trunk. Then another. Then another. Then another.
I run.
You just run.
I just run.
No, you do not stick around. You just run.
I'm going to try and cast sending while I'm running.
Okay.
I don't know if that will work, but I'm going to try.
You try and gather this rainbow spirit together, and weirdly the rainbow spirit flows out of your fingertips as if it's inhabiting your very form, and the other spirits come together as well, joining into it and bundle up in front of it.
Jet, I know I haven't seen you in ages, but it's Celestia. I'm here and I'm stuck, and I don't know how to get back. Fingerwoods, help, please.
You feel part of the rainbow spirit flitter away, but some of it stays behind, maintaining whatever presence you have here.
I keep running.
Just going to roll to see how much time has actually passed
Oh
here.
god, it's going to be loads, isn't it?
Okay. So, just going to keep a quick track of actual time, because we're back in the Dreamfold, kids.
Oh, planar temporal shenanigans.
Oh yeah.
If you get the dream spell, you have to do something stupid with it.
Yep.
Those are the rules.
So, as you are running, and you begin running through, and you can feel that there is something behind you, and you do not want to turn your head to look. You can just hear the creaking of trees and
I don't look.
some sort of footsteps in the sand. Okay. The rainbow spirit and others flicker back. The Fingerwoods. You're far from my realm, but you may be able to find a friend who can guide you the way. things have moved, look for the Maya, then head to the castle. I believe he owns some property there, and he may be able to guide you the rest of the way. Good luck.
I look for the Maya.
Okay, peering around, you can see where the cliffs descend downwards in the distance into a black mire. You run. Do you look back at any point?
Nope.
Then it does not catch you.
Oh, I hate dream magic. That's hideous.
You run and
I'm so like panicky because I know this is going to be like fucking 12 hours in real time. I can just feel it. I'm gonna fuck
Okay.
everything.
You run downwards and you find yourself approaching what appears to be long, just a morass of black, sludgy ground. There are trees here, scattered here and there, but they appear to be half-rotted, melting, covered in fungi and slime. The waters here surge suddenly in places, just bubbling up and then sinking down. It is a treacherous crossing, and in places you can see tiny glowing blue lights just hovering above.
Oh no, fuck that! I run straight past.
Okay, you're going to run
I
past
do
them.
not follow the
Give
lights
me a
because
survival-
I've seen Lord of the Rings.
Yep, go give me a survival check to try and and run a quick passage through the Black Mire.
Oh, hun, that's not good. I forgot what my new survival is. 8?
8.
Oh god.
Okay. So, as you run, and then your hand, you feel your foot plunge downwards, and out from below. Yeah, sod it. We're in this place. Long, slimy green tongues rise up and start wrapping themselves around your arms, trying to drag you down in. Give me an athletics or acrobatics check to try and escape these things.
Please.
As you
natural
struggle-
20.
Okay, you manage to slip past it and scramble your way up, but the little blue wisps have begun to converge on your position. You can now hear that sort of psing.
Like
Is
I'm
actually-
brave.
You stare
I
around.
run.
You can see there are ghostly images of figures drowning in the mire. And yeah, you're going to try and run for it. Okay, this time I need you to make both a survival check to make it a safe passage and an athletics check to outrun the wisps.
Oh, survival is a 4. Athletics is a 15, I believe.
Okay,
No, 16.
You
Sorry.
manage to outrun them for a fair distance. You leave them behind you, but then you slip and you fall forwards into a pit. But the pit isn't a pit; it's a mouth, and ringed around it, all around it, are not teeth. They are screaming faces which cry out as the mouth engulfs around you. You can feel wet noses, slobbering tongues, no
God.
teeth even within these faces, all around you as they
I'm
essentially
gonna have
try.
actual nightmares tonight. This is
As you
horrifying.
can feel peristaltic motion trying to drag you down, down, down. Okay, so the Maya mouth is gonna make an attack against you and see if it can actually do some damage.
Try and climb out.
So I'm
try and
gonna
resist.
do this one by one because there's no point in rolling initiative for this. That is high enough. So the damage done by this is, well, it's actually here. So I guess this is actual damage. So this is actual damage, which affects the avatar you are presenting. So you take 6 double. Well, actually, no. It's Dreamfilled Entity, so everything it does is psychic damage technically. No, but you are physically so. No. I'm going with my original ruling. 6 doubled to 12 points of damage.
Okay. So, yeah, cool.
Okay.
I would like to do a thunder wave
Okay.
to
Excellent.
try and get it to spit me out.
All right, Just you are entirely inside it. Roll damage.
I feel like I just scream
Yeah.
because I probably can't move.
The damage you do is curiously, although it takes the form of thunder and you can feel it blast outwards, you know that this isn't... The damage you're doing seems different. This is definitely psychic damage, not thunder damage. But it does affect the entity.
That's terrible. 4.
4. Okay. You do 4 points of damage to it, and let's roll for vomiting. With a squelch and a splatter, you feel the mouth of mouths vomit you suddenly back up. You land in the muck, and you can see up ahead is an ominous, foreboding-looking tower. In the distance, you can see what seem to be the tiny forms of wolves riding bats. But the tower is up ahead. You scramble towards it before the wisps can reach you, and you make your way to a dark stone, a dark stone archway with a wet, grimy-looking wooden door. It is currently closed.
Can I knock?
You do. You bang on the door. There's a pause before the door opens just enough for you to slip inside, which you do. As you pass in, you find yourself somewhere warm, dry, unexpectedly. If perhaps a little unnerving, it appears to be the interior of a wine cellar, of all places. You look around, there are racks with just racks and racks and racks of huge barrels of wine. And in one corner, lit by torchlight, you can see some sort of massive, hulking form. The form flickers in the shadows. It's hard to make out details. You can see that whatever it is has a vast, oppressive bulk. In the dull gleam of the light, it seems to be a deep, ominous red. And you can hear the clinking of coins nearby. The little clunk of a goblet against glass. The sound of... And again, the clinking of coins. Does not appear to have noticed you.
Is there another way out?
There may be a way through the wine racks, but they are many, and it's hard to tell from here without going deeper into them.
Is there one I can kind of try and peer around and see what this thing is?
Sure. Give me a stealth check to get a little bit closer.
A related question.
Yes.
I'm in my fancy outfit in the Dreamfold. Does it count as disadvantage? Like, legitimately, if it's in the Dreamfold, does it count?
In the
I don't know.
Dreamfold, weirdly, that's an interesting
I
question.
mean, everything's fucking weird anywhere. That's why I asked.
Yeah.
You know?
So the form you're creating, the form you're projecting kind of represents your internal self-image.
Uh-huh.
So
it's definitely in the fancy outfit.
So, yeah. This is not a scenario where that entirely blends in, so I'm going to say, yeah, you've got
No,
disadvantage.
totally. I just didn't know how it works.
Yeah. If you were at a party,
That's
maybe.
fucked. That's not actually terrible, believe it or not. 15.
Okay. So, you creep closer. Peering a little bit closer, you can see in the light. The light plays tricks. And you can see that what appeared to be an ominous red isn't quite red. It's a slightly lighter shade than that. And there are 2 small wings on its back.
Yay.
Then you watch as they form of Reginald, the pink elephant, winged pink elephant,
Fuck
reaches
the Eric
forwards,
NPC that we had in the high
picks up a goblet, splashes a bit of wine into it, knocks it back. Oh, that's a little bit better, and continues counting his coins. Peers round his curling pink trunk.
You know, you really shouldn't sit in bad lighting like that. You look terrifying. Sorry, hello.
Celestia?
You're real then. We weren't just high one time.
Well, in a place like this, it can always be hard to tell. I'm surprised you're real, as you are me. Ready for a caper?
I don't know. I don't know how I got here, and I don't know how I'm supposed to get back. Am I really here? Am I here?
Let's have a
Reginald, help. What's happening?
Let's have a look at you. Kind of reaches forwards, and with his little... he has those weird kind of hoof paw thing. Okay, so what do you call the ends of elephants' feet?
I have
Just
no
feet.
idea. I'm just saying feet.
Their
in my
feet.
head.
They have
Yeah.
feet.
I think
Yeah,
those
I
are
think
feet.
just
So he's got those sort of flattened elephant feet, but they weirdly move like mittens, like you know, like like they do in
like a horrible cartoon.
in cartoons. Yeah, he reaches forward and he kind of just pinches your cheek and waves it around a bit like a really annoying auntie.
That's vaguely invasive.
Oh, sorry about that. Just seeing how you feel. Nicely dressed. Tell you what. Picks up the white carafe of wine. Picks up the bottle of wine, uncorks it, takes a swig. Sorry about this. And he just splashes wine all down the front of your outfit.
Hey, fucker.
Studies it for a moment. Ah, you see? He points to it, and you can see the wine is washing, soaks off it, and doesn't leave a stain on your clothes as it goes. Now, I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure that if you were here in your own body, that stain would have stuck.
That's very fucking clever, Reginald.
Well, I'm smarter than a skald, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you can do heists. This isn't really that much of a stretch, is it?
Well, no.
How have you been?
Ah, you know how it is. Every day's an adventure up here.
Yep. Okay.
How's it been
Just
down
starts
there?
giggling. Mental, Reginald. So mental.
Doesn't surprise me that much.
I don't suppose you've ever met Jet, have you?
Jet.
Oh, I don't know what she looks like anymore.
Jet.
Lover's Palace.
Oh,
very sweet.
You mean... Right. Yes, I know her. Oh, we go way back. Oh, you know, her skill at stealing hearts is just as good as mine at stealing gold.
What the fuck is happening, Reginald?
Well,
How
looks
did I get here?
Oh, I see the problem. And he pinches your cheek again.
Please,
And this time he pulls at it, and it seems to stretch outwards, but it has and he pulls out a little bit of the rainbow spirit with instead of your cheek. Ah, this old scoundrel, isn't it? Let's go of it, and the rainbow spirit smacks back into you. It's like elastic.
Ow.
Ah, sorry about that.
I don't feel like my face usually stretches that far.
I imagine it doesn't, mind you. I've not really tried pulling a real elf's cheek like that in some time.
In sometimes that's just the thing you do.
If it seems like it'd be like it'd make for a good time, I'm generally into it.
Great. I really do have quite a lot to do in the real world, and I need to get back.
Ah! Well, it's all about... What do you need to do, then? You need to relax.
I stand there, like, so tense.
Right. He offers... Here's a... One moment. Picks up his goblet and sort of just punches a bit... sort of uses little mitten feet to pick up a tap and just literally just taps one of the wine barrels. Love these things, they never run out. And then pours a bit of wine into a goblet before untapping the tap, closing the tap. Here you go, try this.
No.
Ah, not your real body. Should be fine.
You're sort of a mad pink elephant who lives in the Dreamfold.
Got it in one!
And I just don't know if I should believe anything you say.
Oh, that's a fair point.
Might go and find Jet weirdly trust her more.
Ah, right. Well, I suppose I can give you a hand.
Love you and that, don't get me wrong, but
He knocks back the drink himself.
don't feel I should be taking advice from an elephant in a top hat.
Yeah, that's alright. He adjusts his hat a little bit.
I mean, I know I'm one to talk, I gesture at my clothes, but somehow that might be a little bit far for me, Reginald.
No, that's fine. Do you want one for the road? He gestures to his top hat.
Yeah, fuck it.
Takes the top hat off, reaches into it, pulls out another top hat, and gives it to you.
Put it on my
You
head.
kind of awkwardly stuff your hair into it.
How do I look?
Not bad!
Good.
Could do with a bit more pink, but that's just my taste.
I prefer purple.
Each to their
Pink
own.
looks good on you, though.
Stretches, cracks his back a little bit. I suppose we'd best get you off towards the Lover's Palace.
If you wouldn't mind, that'd be nice.
That'd be fine. Easiest way these days would probably be the Mirror Maze. I think it's on the other side of the rift at the moment.
Isn't Mirror Maze, like, terrifying?
Yes.
Like how terrifying? It really... But would it be quick?
Tell you what, you close your eyes and I'll lead you through.
Okay.
Just don't open them no matter what you hear.
Oh, okay.
And you should be fine.
Right. Cool.
All right. Come on then. Take off. Well, foot, hand.
This doesn't feel like how hands should work, Reginald.
His hand is weirdly like it's It doesn't feel like an animal foot. It feels like you're like you've never No, rubber. It feels like being gripped by a warm rubber ball.
Right.
Balloons. Rubber balls exist. Balloons haven't really come in yet, but if they did, it would feel like Reginald's hand is a balloon. All right. So let's go on through here. Where would be the nearest? Shortcut. He gestures to one of the barrels of wine.
What?
Reaches to the side of it, inserts the little wine tap, and then turns it to the side. Pulls it open, and beyond, instead of a wine barrel, there is a wide circular doorway to what appears to be a complex maze full of mirrored surfaces.
I close my eyes.
Alright, so we're just gonna make our way through here, and don't open your eyes.
What happens if I open my eyes?
Oh, you just won't like what you see.
Okay.
Nice thing about the mirror maze is, well, there's nothing in here that you don't bring with you.
That is not reassuring, Reginald.
It's not meant to be. On we go!
Is this just a really elaborate dream?
Yes and no.
Oh, good.
Okay, so we just want to go through this bit and around here. So, roll me 2d4.
2d4.
Let's see how many mirrors you pass.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Hang on.
Okay, time is still progressing at the real rate, interestingly, at the moment.
I mean, that's actually quite good. What the fuck is another d4? Sorry, I'm having one of those nothing is where I need it to be days. So that's 8. I rolled
Okay.
8 on 2d4.
You pass.
Wow.
No.
That's really bad.
8 mirrors. Let's do this one at a time.
No.
3, 4, 5.
Consequences of your stupid actions coming back to bite you all for me.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this by... Yeah, I guess by this. Where's my d4s? Here we go. Okay. As you pass by, you hear just whisperings, echoes, strange out of context sounds. And remember, always, dear children, those who live within the great web, that the first virtue is loyalty. Loyalty and strength. If you have not the strength to cross that abyss, then be loyal, and those higher than you will bring you over. Be not like these, who failed in their loyalty, who we offer up now to the grace of Utu. Oh, no! Praise be, praise be, praise be. You leave that mirror behind you.
I don't open my eyes.
Mirror 2.
Like, I can't believe I rolled 8. That's so bad.
That's
No.
amazing.
Jesus. I did. I rolled 2. I've never rolled 8 on 2d4 for anything else either.
Mistress, you said you had a reward for me. Yes, darling. You've done well. So I thought you'd enjoy a little bit of time in the solarium. Really, mistress? Go on. Take until the next bell. You've earned it. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, mistress. You pass by the second mirror. Third mirror. Crying. A babe's cries. Is it? Yes, my love. It's a girl. Oh, praise be to Arachne. The crying continues for a few moments before that memory too passes by. I don't know anything else that I can tell you. I don't believe you, and the word echoes. Tell me again how you found your way here. We were just searching around. We didn't know nothing. I don't believe you. And again, the word echoes. Tell me again how you made your way down here. I told you. Tell me again. And again, the voice echoes. The fourth memory passes.
As if I rolled 8. Oh my god.
You came back. Of course we were going to come back, Scamp. The washing of the shore. I thought you passed by the memory. 6. Tell me what Tyr was like. Tyre? It's pronounced Tyre, and oh, you should see it, Stardust. In places the rooftops are mirrors, and when the sun hits them just right, it's like the city's made of gold. You passed by that memory as well.
Reginald, how much longer?
Not far now. I think we're just a little bit further. 2 mirrors. So that was 6, my apologies. Fine. Fine then. The ringing of a gunshot. You don't get to decide who lives or dies. Just seething. That too passes. In places that you kind of echo for a moment. You're not sure if that one happened exactly like that. The mirrors don't seem perfect. But you remember the shot, and you remember Clara. The last one. Is that a drawing of a bat to me? What can I say? I like bats. I'm not good at drawing, but, it's symbolically a bat. That has to be one of the worst drawings of a bat I've ever seen. Oh! Go shove yourself in a spider's mouth, Trow. Anyway, come over here. I saved a little bit of something from yesterday's rations. Share it with you?
I open my eyes.
You see a young drow woman. Hard to tell age with elves. Hair cut short. And dressed in the same combat fatigues as yourself. You can see that. You can see her too. A much younger one. The pair of you are sitting in the barracks together. Off to one side is the pair of heavy breastplates you'd often wear during training to get used to the weight of it, a weight you never quite got used to. And you feel your hand reaching out. Roll a wisdom saving throw.
Sorry, my save's gone up. Give me a sec. That's a 15.
And you stop your hand before it can pull you into the mirror. And you force yourself to turn away.
It takes, like, a good couple of seconds.
You see that you've arrived at a doorway. Just seemingly made of stone, but arranged like a door on the inside of a house. And as Reginald gives you a kindly smile and reaches down and turns the stone handle, it opens up into the interior of what almost looks like a temple. Marble columns and warm lights from candles. Silk curtains with the silhouettes of figures beyond. And you can see there is a figure waiting for you.
I rub up my cheeks to get rid of a couple of stray tears that have fallen.
She is different today. The features are different, though she still has the same charcoal grey skin, although her hair today is in white curls, long white curls, and her eyes are violet, and she's wearing what seems to be a more sort of a dress out of time, something more classical, almost resemblant of the sort of Tyrian toga, but made of blue silks. But it's still undeniably her.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you, Reginald. Always a pleasure. Reginald salutes, glances to one side, sees a silver candlestick, just brazenly steals it, and then walks back into the mirror maze, closing the door behind him.
Probably going past lovely memories of capers he's been on. Oh, that was a nice heist, said Reginald as he went back through the mirror. No negative memories from Reginald. Having a lovely day. Sorry, I've ruined it.
Reginald has no regrets to bring into the mirror maze with him.
Saunters through, waggling his top hat about. Sorry, I don't really know why I'm here. It's sort of an accident. I shouldn't really be bothering you. I was just sort of panicked, and I don't really know how I got here, and I don't really know how to get back. And hi.
Hi. I hadn't expected to see you again.
Sorry, I didn't mean to mess you around.
No, I can tell. She gestures to an alcove, which you swear wasn't there a moment ago, which has a pair of comfortable-looking wooden cushioned chairs set up next to a little table. There are a couple of glass flutes with some sort of light sparkling wine in.
I don't drink anything.
She takes a sip. She does offer you the seat, though.
I do sit down.
Jet sits down and sips from the wine herself. That's all right.
I don't know, one of my spirits was mucking about and I just sort of ended up here.
Maybe you needed a friend.
Yeah, that could be it. It was a rough day. Rough month, really. And It was my first watch alone in a while. So I suppose that could be it. How are you?
I am what I am. Next time, focus on me and let your friend, and she sort of gestures with one hand, and a little bit of the essence of you peels away in a rainbow wisp for a moment before rejoining. They'll guide you towards me, or anyone really.
Okay.
Even Coalface, if you really want.
Ooh, you're all right there, darling. You're right about the mirror maze. It's really bad.
Lots of broken hearts for me.
Can you tell if somebody's heart is broken?
Yes. Yours was. And I sense that you found what you were looking for.
Yeah. But, it is very, very complicated. And I don't really know what I'm doing.
She kind of swirls her wine glass for a moment. It refills as she does so.
She's fucking married. What am I doing?
It's not stopped too many people before, but I get why that would be a problem.
She's married and it definitely can't be anything, but she also keeps talking about settling down and getting a cafe together, and my head is just all over the place and everything else is mental, and I don't know why I'm telling you any of this.
Well, if anyone's going to understand.
Yeah, but I'm not being fair, am I?
I'd say I didn't sign up for fairness, but that would imply that I got a choice.
It imply that you signed up at all, I suppose.
That's all right. It's a living. Better than a not. Broken hearts, okay. Let me tell you what I see. I saw a girl come to me whose heart had been ripped out of her chest. And I see a woman come back to me who has found it there again. The pain you're feeling isn't a heart breaking. It's a heart.
Right. I don't know what I'm doing here.
When you are ready to go back, you will be ready to go. When you are ready to go back, it will happen. Because you need to be willing to return to your life.
Jet, I have to go and negotiate the fate of a country, and I have to cross a front line where some of my terrifying family might be. It's a bit hard to want to, you know? I'll get over it, I'm sure. Because I really do have to go back. But everything is really quite scary. And I can see the future now. And there was a kraken, and and like I might be a vampire now, and it's just a lot on all the time. And I think maybe some part of me was just sort of lonely and wanted to get out. And it was the first night where Leah hasn't been there in a while, and I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make this confusing and weird.
Well, I think perhaps you wanted companionship, and you will certainly find that here.
What if I came back? Said hello every so often. Not too often. But what if I did?
She looks a little sad.
If you'd rather I didn't, that's okay. I don't know if I even mean anything right now. Sorry, I'm really not being very good. I should go.
Celestia.
Yeah?
I am desire. I am what is wanted. Some think me love, and I can be. And I have, for a time, loved you. And so many others. You will be. You will find what you want here, with all the comfort and dangers that implies.
I've never known what I want.
I know. It makes it difficult.
Makes what difficult?
She gestures to herself.
Oh.
No, it's a good thing for me. I like you.
I like you.
She reaches forward and lets a hand hover by your cheek.
I lean into it.
Her hand is soft and warm.
I should go.
When you're ready. Just let go. Imagine a sort of knot in yourself, of
It's
yourself.
not hard.
allow it to unravel slowly. You don't want to this to unravel too quickly.
Okay. I kind of put my hand on top of her hand on my cheek and close my eyes and try and breathe.
The pressure of the hand remains there. Although when you open your eyes again, although you can still feel the hand on your face, the form is gone.
I do as she said. Try and let go slowly.
You kind of feel your form begin to gently, almost disintegrate, more sort of unravel. Strands of multiple colours begin to unweave themselves from your body, and bit by bit you feel yourself discorporate until everything blurs, and you feel the colours go blurry, then dark. And you realise you're just looking at the inside of your own eyelids. And you're lying on the slightly cold, slightly uncomfortable bedroll. And for a few moments you can still feel that warm pressure on your cheek before it goes.
What time does it look like if I open my eyes? Who's on watch?
You open your watch, you can see Corzin staring out the window.
Guess I'll try and go back to sleep. Imagine that goes well. You know what? I wiggle around and toss and turn for a minute and then get up and have a few sips of whiskey and try and go back to sleep again.
About half an hour into your watch, Corzin Celestia gets back up, drinks some whiskey, and tries to get back
funny. That looks weird.
Totally fair enough.
in. And the rest of your watches pass without incident. The following morning, you basically oversleep by about 35 minutes. But you get some rest. Troubled, as it most definitely is.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh.
And we're going to pick up with you awakening in the morning after these, no doubt important, messages. And now for a word from our friends over at The Roaring Trainers.
Welcome to the Roaring Trainers, Canto in the Jazz Age, a real play, 5e D&D podcast set in a 1920s Pokemon world. Follow Wesley, Sandoran, Atticus, and Little Abby as they meet new friends, discover new Pokemon, and explore the landscape on their Pokemon journey. With mature themes, funny jokes, and sometimes dark storylines, The Roaring Trainers is a story for those of us who grew up on Pokemon and are looking for a Pokemon adventure that grew up with us. Follow them on Twitter and find them on any podcasting app by searching The Roaring Trainers.
They took everything from us, Abby. I don't know who they are. I know the Red Rocket, but I don't know what that means. I gotta find out, though.
How am I supposed to beat all the gym leaders if I don't have any more Pokemon and if I can't win any battles?
Fail more. The more you learn, the better you'll get. Everything in life is just an experience. It's all data.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on The Roaring Trainers, Canto in the Jazz Age.
Well, great jumping jacks. It sure can be a hard life being a bunny rabbit. After a long day's work hopping around, searching for food and working brutal shifts in the carrot mines, I always look forward to coming home to my husband, Mr. Whiskers, and my son. But I always make sure to like, rate, share, and subscribe to Flintlocks and Fireballs first. Oh, boy, can't wait to get home! And welcome back. So, the morning eventually arrives. As the dim light of day begins to make its way in, the three of you have gotten pretty rough sleep, honestly. But sleep you have gotten. Celestia, your exhaustion level has gone away. Although you do sleep well, you do sleep an extra hour past Corzin's, so and you are kind of difficult to rouse.
I guess I'm just a pain, like, just go back to sleep.
Yeah. Nevertheless, the morning. Well, by the time you do arise, dawn has long since broken, and the sun is now shining fairly resolutely across the rugged plains ahead.
Corzin would say to Scamp, actually, given what happened last night, I'd say let her sleep for a bit.
No, I'm going to try and wake her up.
Why?
Because she was mean.
I'm gonna try and wake her up.
Okay, yeah. How interesting.
Come on.
No, we all had bad days and she was mean.
Alright.
I'm not going to dispute that with you, but I think given everything, I'm not going to hold it against her.
Why? What's she had that's more than the rest of us?
She has at least one cursed item on her person that she can't take off. One that will, and another one that will very seriously drain her if she does.
Yes. Both of which were her choice to put on, knowing there will be consequences. And yes, it sucks, but being mean to other people who are also hurting doesn't excuse it.
I wasn't saying it did.
So I'm going to wake her up.
Alright. On your own head be it then.
How do you wake Celestia up?
I'm just gonna gently shake her. I'm grumpy, but I'm not mean. I am a little bit mean.
There is an insistent shaking at your shoulder that keeps
You've got to
bringing you
get
back
up
out.
now.
Oh. Okay.
Are you still angry?
No, I don't think I even really was. I'm sorry.
Good.
Roll for how emotionally intelligent I am. Yeah, pretty good actually. Sorry I was an arsehole.
That's alright.
No. Well, it's alright now you said sorry. It wasn't alright before.
That's fair.
Yesterday was hard. The last few days have been hard.
Breakfast?
Yeah.
You settle down
I'll give it a go.
to a somewhat stilted, awkward breakfast of travel rations
Whoa. Chocolate.
and chocolate.
I offer Celestia some.
No, you're okay.
Okay.
You should eat all the chocolate today. You're gonna need it.
Something occurred to me last night.
Yeah?
If you can send to pretty much anyone, if they didn't already know who it was you was sending to them, could you maybe pose as someone else?
I can do a voice. But doesn't feel very reliable.
Isn't it
Just
a thing
thinking.
where they know, if they know you, they know it's you?
I
Isn't
don't know.
that
Out of
part of-
character, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just
that
gonna
is
I need a bit of help here.
I believe it says they know it's you.
Yes, and I think they go fairly strict. The strict rules are written in that, but I'm just
I
going
might
to
be wrong.
check because that's important. Creature with which you're recognizes you as the sender if it knows you.
Okay.
So, I guess if it knows you already, it can probably see. It might conceivably be able to see through. I don't know. It's something where, let's be honest, I don't think that my reading of that is that it's not necessarily a magical attachment of sender information. It
Hmm.
seems to be a case of you recognize their voice.
There is no magic call ID.
Yeah.
Oh, some of us are terrible at recognising voices.
Maybe there's a small magical transponder element, but arcane transponder.
But it's basically your voice that they hear,
so
so
I
they would
think-
get whatever information they get from that.
Yeah, I think attempting to
Right.
pretend to be someone else would require a deception check.
I'm not good at accents.
But if it was someone who didn't know you, you could pretend to be anyone.
That's my point.
You have a point.
That's someone you saw in a scry or from a distance. Or...
Yeah, I suppose so. Anyone who
I mean-
could feasibly have my voice.
It's not something that I think immediately has an immediate application, but should the need arise for us to pose as someone we're not, it would be nice to know if that's even an option.
Yeah.
Huh?
I mean, surely, some sending mages must use this as a means of misinformation.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose they mustn't they?
Well, I mean, even just spreading false intelligence around the old-fashioned way is a thing that governments and armies would do.
Yeah, sort of the rumour mill.
Yeah.
If it was my spell, I'd just use it to annoy people at random.
Well, I suppose you could use it for that as well.
I'd just pick someone and start singing in their brain.
Corzin, roll a history check.
Okay.
Ruffle Scamp's hair.
History. Oh, that is a 6.
You're not familiar. You've never served on a military, on a naval vessel, so you're not really aware of what exactly naval procedures are with regards to information security and sendings, and
Okay.
consequently what military procedures are.
Fair.
However, the sun is rising. Are you planning to You're planning to continue on magical horseback, I believe,
Yeah.
to make the
But
most.
I'm going to try
Yeah.
and make the horses look as different as possible to the ones from yesterday, while still looking like boring horses.
Today's
Boring, sad horses.
Okay, so today's horrifying travesties of nature are different colours and have there are a dull sort of grey and a dull washed out charcoal, and they have a different build. One's really muscly, one's really skinny. It's the dullest things your mind comes to.
They're boring horses that people won't be suspicious of.
Needs must, I suppose.
Hopefully one day there won't be people looking for us and you can just make bright green ones whenever you feel like it.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know,
I like
little
that
Corzin
thing.
is gonna go nuts if he sees what you can do with horses.
Ooh, the capacity for freaking out children this has is really big.
No, he's a smart boy. He'll know what it is, but I'm sure he'd be fascinated by it.
That could be really fun.
All right.
We really should send him more often as well. Are we all right?
Yeah.
Is there anything else I can do other than not be an arsehole and say sorry again?
Just remember other people hurting too. It's not just you. Last few days have been a bit complicated for all of us.
I'll try and do better.
Always.
You do pretty good.
It's the best. It's all we can do.
I did something stupid and I think I should tell you.
What?
Another thing!
I didn't mean to. It really was an accident. Found out a new thing I could do.
Alright.
Went to the Dreamfold.
You did what?
Oh no!
It really was an accident. I really didn't mean to.
I saw you. You didn't leave your bed last night.
No,
other
I
than to
mean
get
I
up.
can send a sort of...
Dreamfold, it's a thing.
like a dream version. But I was there. Reginald sent his regards.
Was that the big pink thing you were talking about?
Yep.
Oh, you did. Oh.
Corzin designated wagon driver.
Yep.
I was an asshole because I didn't talk to you properly and I was mean instead, so I'm trying to be better.
I appreciate that.
Don't know if this is actually good or not, but
Well,
yeah.
what happened while you were in the Dreamfold? You didn't eat anything, did you?
No, of course not. I mean, somebody said it would be okay if I wasn't really there, but I wasn't taking that chance.
Fair. So what actually happened?
Spent a bit of time in a bog. Went to the Fingerwoods for a bit.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was really gross. Went to,
I still got some of those.
What?
Why?
Pull out the fingers.
They are these dull, white, fleshy fingers.
I mean...
And a
why?
handful of bones.
To make clocks.
Of course. Right, alright.
You don't remember?
Yes, of course I remember,
Why
but...
do you still have them?
To make clocks. What if I get stuck there again and I need to make a clock?
Sorry, just to clarify out of character. In my head, these are like whole arms.
They're more like... There's like one long... like unnaturally long, fleshy white finger, and
God.
one that's more like a little pinky finger.
Well, darling, if you get stuck in the Fingerwoods again, they have a lot.
But what if I'm stuck somewhere else?
I'm not sure it'd work anywhere else, would it?
Yeah, as long as it's in the world, it shows the... I think. We used them elsewhere, didn't we?
You did use them in other parts of the Dreamfold, yes. You've not tried throwing them to the ground to tell the time in the real world.
I don't want to, because if it
Oh,
works,
God.
that's awful.
Yeah, I
Next
don't want to know
time
if it
we're
works.
around a place with a clock, see if it actually does work. 'Cause
No! What if it does?
If it does, that's something that, whilst disturbing, is actually moderately useful to us. I mean,
We need none
having
of us
a
have a
clock
watch.
on a... Oh, it's true.
When do I need to tell the time?
Probably for some like horrifying thing where we have to overthrow the government or something. There'll be some situation where we desperately need to tell the time and we won't be able to. You're quite right to keep carrying them around.
On the other hand, it could just be that you have two finger bones that are of no use, other than maybe if you grind them up to grit the pass within winter.
Huh.
What?
Is that a traditional halfling way of gritting path?
Well, usually you'd use animal bones, but...
Huh.
He's just looking at you with a very confused face. It's been a long night. Are you fucking with me? I can't tell. I'm too tired.
I don't know.
Well, I think we're straying from the topic at hand here. So, like, you were in the Dreamfold, and you ended up in the Fingerwoods, but you didn't stay there.
No,
Where did you go after that?
Then I went to a bog. I found Reginald. Reginald took me through the mirror maze.
Ooh.
All right.
He just sort of made me close my eyes and walk through it. And ran into Jet while I was there.
Oh.
She told me how to get back.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, she was nice.
Well,
But
glad you ran into some, friendly faces at least, or so it would seem.
Yeah.
Really solidly didn't know how to get back for a bit.
Because I've had some really bad nightmares that I wouldn't want to bump into there.
Yeah, same.
You didn't? No. I assume you'd have told me if you ran into, Stringer Smith.
No, was in the Fingerwoods, didn't see him, and that used to be his haunt, didn't it? I mean,
Good.
Obviously I didn't look round the whole thing, but...
Well, I suppose one must be grateful for small mercies.
I saw a thing with 4 hands, but I think he only had 2. But the thing is, I think there could be something useful in it. Correct me if I get too much of an inkling of what I'm doing. Felt like, maybe I could find specific people's dreams.
Ooh.
Well, that could be useful.
Muck about with them a bit.
I
feel like it's...
Can you... presumably the other person would have to be dreaming at the same time you were.
You'd have to be asleep, I suppose.
That...
But I saw dreamers while I was there.
Corzin's going to take a moment to ponder the ramifications of this.
I think I could, tell them stuff. Maybe look like I'm different.
That's potentially like limitless communication with anyone who's asleep.
Yeah, I think it would be weird dream communication. If you know what I mean. I
have no doubt.
I don't know if they'd experience it like a normal conversation.
Or they'd probably just assume that you were...
consciously remember, if you know what I mean.
Ah.
I feel like they'd, get the feeling of it, but I don't know.
Can you plant ideas?
I think so.
Boom! So I had to do the Inception Foghorn.
Whoa! Spin a spinning top, it spins forever. We all end up on a beach and everything's confusing. A short summary of Inception by me. I hope you all enjoyed that.
Love it.
But I think maybe I could.
Hmm.
Well, that's something.
Yeah, it is. And I know how to get back now.
That's very useful.
Once I've worked it out, it's not that bad. It just takes about a minute.
Okay. That
So
could be useful.
It could be useful.
Absolutely.
It's just you that goes in. You can't take someone.
But how does this work? I don't think I can I?
Well, actually, you can't take someone, but you can send someone.
Oh.
Oh.
So it's you, the spell is you or a willing creature you touch. Enter a trance state manifesting an avatar in a random region within the Dreamfold.
I don't think I could do more than one. But I think I could send somebody else.
You could.
Does it, is there anything that you need to use to do it? Does it get used up? Or is this a... is there a cost?
It wasn't much. What happened beforehand? The Rainbow Spirit went a bit mental and started sniffing about in the gnomish brandy.
Wow.
And dug up a bit of sand. Gnomish brandy and sand But not much of either. It was like a drop, you know? It wasn't... And I've got a little vial of it. I had a feeling when we were at Destin's the other day, so I picked some up.
And
All
did
right.
it use it up, or have you still got the same amount?
Still got a lot. Like, it doesn't look... I take it out. It doesn't look like it's gone down. I think it's just,
Okay.
you know, a tiny bit.
So
In the spell description, it says a small amount.
It says
And
a
you-
drop of
A
gnomish
drop.
brandy.
Okay, cool.
Which doesn't get consumed. Is that...
I think it
I mean,
does, but
it
it's
gets
like-
consumed, but it's literally a drop. You have...
Okay.
You have a thimbleful's worth, like more. You've got a dram's worth. It's basically you have a functionally unlimited amount of gnomish brandy.
I mean, I think it used up like a drop, but not much.
Could you send Corzin to spend an evening with Molly?
I was thinking that, actually. Would you like one?
Yes. Of course I would.
Or little Corzin, you could play all night.
Okay, hang on. I gotta roll something. Okay. You see, Corzin is very, very quickly. His eyes are sort of darting back and forth, sort of trying to think of all the potential ramifications of this, and he says, "If you can do that, I do not know that there is anything I can give you that is."
No, none of that. You deserve it. Also, I was a
Thank you.
twat yesterday. I'd better make it up to you, really, hadn't I? But that seems like one of the best uses I can think of. It's a big spell. So it'd have to be at the end of the day. At the end of the day, where we've not used anything big. But I'm happy to do that for you.
There's something else talking about yesterday. I think maybe we should send to Clara and let her know what happens if you are parted from one of those storm's eyes. I'm sure she's smart enough that she'll have worked out some of it, but
Yeah. I
She-
wonder
I
if
think she
I'll
has a
wait
right to know.
until tonight and see if I have to use
Oh,
the
yeah,
spell
yeah.
for something else. But you're quite right. I think we should. But if I have it left at the end of today and I haven't needed it to fight,
yeah.
but
Alright.
you are right. We should do that. I just, I don't want
did
to go
not
into
know-
a front line having used up anything. I'm terrified.
No, that's absolutely sensible. I'm not. I'm not asking you to do that before we have the opportunity. But this is new information, as I'm sure you'll agree, and information that if she has one of these things, she really ought to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Apology accepted. Stop it.
I'm not trying to make it worse.
No,
Just,
I know.
Yeah. I'm not good at this sort of thing.
No more
You're good.
apologising.
You're getting better.
Thanks.
And just keep thinking about it if you keep apologising, and that's no good for anyone.
Alright.
All right. So, Scamp, you finish sketching the second of your 2 dull horses for the day, which pulls itself out up of the image on the ground. What are today's horses named?
Boring.
I think this one looks like a knackered.
No, they're both boring.
They're both boring.
They don't get a name each because they're boring.
Fair enough. Not
I
even
didn't
boring
sleep
1 and
well.
boring 2, just boring and boring.
I had a bad night's sleep.
It's okay.
You saddle up onto boring and boring.
Could sing you something tonight if you want. Make sure you get better sleep.
Oh, that would be nice.
Remind me.
Okay.
And begin riding out on the 2 borings across the plains of southern Seoul, making your way from the edge of technically Her Blanche towards Vendée. So, as you make your way on across the lands, there is you make a fair pace, as ever. However, as you get further on through the day, you start to reach a point where you are coming close towards the edge of the front. Now, based on the information that you received from Philippe, and with a rough estimation of where it's proceeded, you know that the front is covering a wide area. So, there are some sections of the front which you would expect to be involved with heavy combat, but you know that there will be at least some forces all along it. With that in mind, I'd like everyone to make perception checks as you ride, please.
Okay.
12.
Dirty 20.
18.
Okay.
Over 10 from all of us on perception. Good God. What's going on?
Celestia and Corzin, as you are making your way somewhere towards the northeast, actually quite some distance away from, if you were to head about 50 miles or so south, you might hit the town of Ozier. You spot combing their way across the, not really hills, hillocks in places, but largely, but sort of sloping plains, the small dotted forms of a band of cavaliers, horsemen engaged in scouting patterns. Corzin, roll me a history check.
Okay. Ooh. That is a 19.
You can't spot them from here, but judge in fine detail. They're some distance away, but judging from the relative speed they're travelling at and the way they're distributed, you'd guess that this is a small platoon of light cavalry. You're aware that during engagements across wide fronts such as these, a full sort of battalion of light cavalry of around 500 will usually split up into 50 or so squads of 10 in order to cover a wide ground, so that at any time there'll be a group sort of combing a given stretch, trying to keep an eye out for trouble, in particular for the sign of a large contingent of troops trying to punch through a section of relatively unguarded front. Perhaps to give if they spot any, they'll send word back and give time to bring a corresponding contingent of troops forward. But they're also often on the lookout for other enemy scouts and indeed spies.
What uniform are they wearing?
You can't really spot them, but Corzin with that 20.
Oh, sorry, apologies.
No. You can see them, but you can't see
lost.
the detail.
Yeah.
Corzin, you can see. You can I mean, both sides are wearing the dark blue of Sulian uniforms, but you can just make out the splash of red, white, and blue that marks out the swatches of colour that the National Guardsmen have taken to wearing to distinguish them from the Old Guard.
These are assembly people.
So these are This is the side of the assembly.
All right, those are assembly troops.
Oh, good thing we didn't put our uniforms on yet, isn't it?
Oh, very good thing.
We must remember we have those, though. When we start crossing over to more royalist places, we should.
They are doubtless going to come in handy before we get to Vondion, I'm sure.
We're going to look like absolute dicks in army uniforms, aren't we? I know that's completely irrelevant, but fuck, we are going to look hilarious.
No one's going to believe it.
I mean, have you seen us?
We've got more chance of crossing the lines with those uniforms than we have without them.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. It's just funny.
It's
The
just
sort of us
dumb.
three in silly outfits is really cracking me up. I think I'm just tired.
Corzin briefly takes a moment to consider that Celestia Stardust has just used the term silly outfit.
He does like an aside glance to camera with a raised eyebrow.
Yeah.
It is
Slight fourth wall break.
It is a dry, warmish day. There's occasional chill breezes, but there are a few clouds in the sky and little hint of rain or cover. Having spotted the Cavaliers, how do you proceed? Are you going to continue riding on the route you're riding on?
Are there any more, like, hidden routes?
Is there any
like what's
forests?
So this area the area that you're marching through doesn't have significant patches of forest. Every now and again there are small copses of wood which are coppiced by various villages, and the hillocks are quite rugged. You can make stealth checks to take advantage of the terrain and try to move as a group without.
I think I will,
without being spotted. So
I think it's worth doing.
Can I have a stealth check?
The fewer people who know we're here, the better.
Yeah, definitely.
Regardless of what side they're on.
We're flying low. We don't want rumours being spread about us.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, that's
14
really bad.
from me.
11.
8.
Oh, is my stealth the highest? Jesus fuck.
Oh
That's
no.
not good.
You make your way as you try and use the lee of the hill, of the nearby hillock to shelter you. But as you're making your way through, Scamp, roll me a D8. I want to see how close you are to needing to recharge your horses.
3.
Okay, so you're 15 minutes into the 40 minutes you can travel without needing to resketch your horses, which is worth knowing. You begin you take a slightly slower pace, using the lee of the hill to guide you, but as you're doing so, you see about maybe 800 feet away, one of the Cavaliers rides close and seems to spot you, and you watch as he pulls out a bugle, makes a call, and you can hear the sounds of other Cavaliers beginning to move to join him as he begins to ride forwards to sort of cut off the route you're progressing on. He's not riding directly towards you. He's sort of riding around so that he can cut off the route you're already riding along. It's up to you whether you want to try and proceed onwards or slow to a halt or whatever else you wish to do.
Okay, we're on the same side as him, aren't we?
Yeah, if this is assembly troops, I think the best thing we can do now that they've seen us is just flash our credentials and damn their impudence.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that might be the... I mean, I think running is just going to set a whole army on our tail.
No, if we run, they'll chase us.
Yeah.
That's what they're supposed to do.
Okay. Seeing you then, if you are coming to a halt.
Yeah.
I still have that piece of paper with Jean-Paul Savat's seal on it, don't I?
Yeah.
That could be really useful. Okay, we can do this. We've got this.
Okay.
Come on.
The Cavaliers begin. You realise the 10 of them have broadly encircled you and begin to ride inwards. They have a couple of them have their carbines trained on you, but not all of them. And you see one of them, a gentleman, a human gentleman in maybe his 40s with a curled, greying moustache, approaches you. He's wearing the uniform of a cavalry captain.
All right.
Oh,
Hello.
Hello.
If you don't mind my asking, he says, in a tone that is at best barely polite. What brings the three of you so close to an open war zone?
Business from Jean-Paul Savat. I take out the letter and show the seal.
He holds up a hand to one of the others and rides a little closer to inspect it.
I can't let you open it. It is for somebody else. But you should be able to see the seal as genuine.
Peers at it. What is your business?
Peace.
Peace?
We've been sent to negotiate.
Kind of.
We'd prefer as few people to know that was happening as possible. We have been asked to keep it low, but we'd rather not be shot by you, so...
I'm going to bristles his moustache for a moment. Seems to think for a moment. One of the others calls out, Captain, should we take them back to the and see what the lieutenant thinks?
We really could do with getting on.
Captain bristles his moustache again, thinking. Make a persuasion check.
Okay. I mean, that's one of the most hilarious things that I've ever rolled. That's a 33.
A 33!
Lord!
No, 32. Sorry,
32.
I can't count. 32.
I know. Bristles is again for a minute. No. The seal looks genuine.
If you could keep it quiet, that would be really, really helpful.
He holds up his hand. It's all right. I guess it must be one of Dumois' lot. He waves you past.
Have I heard that name before?
Jacqueline Dumois is...
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, they think we're assassins.
Oh, that's why they let us past, isn't it?
So they wave you on, and you continue along your way.
32 though.
Yeah.
No.
Never rolled that high on anything.
Expertise is the best.
Oh,
Expertise
yeah.
is so good. I've never had a character with expertise before this. Like, it's not been a thing in any other class that I've played, and it's so good.
Oh, my stealth used to be so good.
Oh yeah, Steve, you had like so much.
40 stealth sometimes.
Oh.
Okay, so you ride onwards, getting further on. As you get further and further westward, you can hear in the distance the sounds of cannon.
That's the front, isn't it?
Sounds which can
Must
be
be.
heard for miles.
Oh, I don't like it.
This is awful, isn't it?
You're heading more southwesterly, but you can hear them coming from the north, it sounds like.
Should just go back to Kion.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, just like right now. If you could just do that, that would be really lovely.
I mean, it'll take a minute.
That's fine. Let's just go. Fuck it. Fuck the country. Let's just go and have a holiday somewhere.
Kion's not exactly a holiday spot this time of year.
I don't know. There's some lovely undead. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm full of shit. Let's keep going. We should lay low.
Can I have more? Can I have? So you're keeping quiet and keeping an eye out. Can I have stealth and perception checks from everyone, please?
So stealth is 17, believe it or not.
Stealth,
Oh,
my
that's
stealth
much
is
better.
17 as well.
That is 22 stealth.
Okay.
And
Oh,
perception.
15 perception.
14
Me
perception
seeing
from me.
things.
16 perception from me.
Okay, and 22 stealth from Scamp
17 from me.
and Corzin.
17 as well.
Okay. There is Corzin, you peer up as you. It's actually just as you've finished one of your 20-minute breaks where you resummon the horses. As you are saddling up, you look up from the hollow of the hill you're currently the sort of hollow between the hillocks that you're currently in, and you can see there's a pair of giant eagles in the sky.
Eagles are back.
Swoop by. And when they're overhead, one of them lets loose something, and you see a canister of what seems to be something which blasts with a blue flame and emits a bluish coloured smoke. Just careens down to the ground.
How far away?
It lands very close. It lands merely 100 feet from you, and continues streaming smoke, a bluish tinted smoke, easily 100 feet up into the air.
Corzin, what is that? Do you know we don't do that in the Underdark?
Okay,
Well, no,
I'm
you haven't
going
got a
to.
sky.
Would this be a history check?
I mean,
or-
it's
I
what
mean, it's a flare.
it's you. It's what you think it is. You know, you've heard
Yeah.
it is.
Okay.
Ellie doesn't know why one would do that. I'm not going to lie. I'm a bit lost as me. Yeah.
It's presumably to mark out for people on the ground where a point of interest is, i.e., us.
Oh, right, cool. That's what I considered, but I was like, something.
Or
I'm
it's
thinking I'm a
actually
bit tired.
if it's flaring up into the air that much, any other eagles for however long around or however far around are going to be able to see that.
They must have rolled fucking high to see us on those stealth checks.
Eagles.
Eagles, yeah, fair. Yeah. So that means we should leave, doesn't it?
Oh, we need to move fast.
Let's go.
Okay.
But also still stealth would be good.
Yep.
Okay, so can I have... you got a choice. Do you want to try and keep near this area and try and find a place to hide and hope that whatever comes to investigate doesn't see you, or do you want to move areas?
Ugh, I don't know.
We're not going to outrun the eagles on the ground. We've got to hide.
Okay.
I'm inclined to agree.
Okay. You search around. I'm going to keep your existing stealth checks, but I would like... actually, no. Slightly changing around, actually, then. I'm going to... so, you've got a bit of time. I will say new stealth checks from everyone, please. Corzin,
Yep.
I'll let you make a survival check first, though, before anyone makes the stealth checks.
Oh, like
Alright,
for
will do.
finding a hiding place.
Just in case the terrain is favourable.
Natural one, but lucky. I'd probably fall into something now. Right? Okay, no, actually, the survival, that's a 25. Yeah, I'd probably fall into a barrow somewhere.
You do actually, as you're searching, you quickly search around and you stumble into some gorse. You take, and as you get covered with just these little cuts, you fall through it and you actually fall into something. Through sheer halfling luck, you appear to have discovered just what appears to be an old smuggler's cache.
Woo! That is good smuggler's cache music.
Yeah.
It is not going to be the same when I don't have the lucky feet anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be so sad, isn't it? You're going to be so sad when you get real ones for the first time.
There is, you've fallen about 5 feet under into the ground, and you can see, peering around, you can see in the dim light. At some point, this was used by what looks like wine smugglers. There's even a few dusty bottles left in one corner.
Fantastic. Okay, so from your perspective, it's just going to look like Corzin is grubbing around trying to find something, and then just falls completely out of sight, and then you hear a very small voice from below go, "Oh,
You're okay?
oh,
I'm going to go try and look where he is.
oh."
Because you hear him calling, you are able to find the hidden position, but frankly, it's very well hidden. Okay.
Oh, good find.
It's a bit of a cramped fit, and the original disguise over it has broken by Corzin falling over it, but I will let everyone make their stealth check with advantage.
Fantastic.
Anyway, and it is disadvantage to spot me.
Yes.
Natural 20.
23.
So
It's lucky that was with
I
advantage
believe
because
that's-
one was a 23 and one was a 3.
16.
So,
Okay.
I believe that's a 26 with a natural 20.
Oh yes, you all house back in and sort of reconstruct the original ghillie suit covering, and hide out and wait. About 4 minutes later, you hear the sounds of approaching hoof beats.
is it like that bit in Lord of the Rings where they're hiding underneath and the riding
Pretty similar, except that there's about 10 horses that come
and our
through.
pit's a bit deeper.
And your pit's a bit deeper, but you can just see through the glimmer as the squad of cavaliers wearing the decidedly tricolor-less uniform of the old guard.
Okay.
Ride in. This is where the flare is. All right. Spread out. See if you can find whatever they signaled. Must be something around. And over the next 10 minutes, you sit, you wait, as the cavaliers sort of comb the surrounding hillside with a not very fine-toothed comb, but nevertheless with a comb, as it were, until eventually you hear them come back together. Looks like they've either gone to ground or made their way on, if there was anyone here. Let's just hope it wasn't another false alarm. You know what those eagle riders can be like. I'm sure if they'd spotted something important, they would have taken a few shots at it themselves. True. Alright. Sun back out. Let's carry on with our patrol. Yes, Captain. And they break away and carry on.
Does this mean it's time to put our silly outfits on?
I think that might be a wise choice.
It feels like we've crossed into their side, doesn't it?
Mm.
And if we run into any of the assembly lot, we do have that letter.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
we've got an identifier, you know?
Is there any wine left in this wine cache?
There is. There are a total of 5 bottles.
Ooh.
Looks like the good stuff.
Can I,
This is, there are 5 bottles of Chateaubriand 63.
Oh. I've heard this is a good year.
If you say so, darling. Not very good on wine.
Nah, me neither.
Corzin is going to put some in his pack.
Okay.
Might as well.
You require several bottles of fine wine. When you feel like the moment has passed,
I guess we get changed while we're down
you
there.
get changed and equip your slightly ill-fitting in places, although in their uniforms they're never well-fitting.
I braid my hair as well.
Okay.
And take the bandana off.
You make yourself the very model of a modern, musket drow, perhaps? Who knows?
Drow official.
Modern drow official, yes, indeed. And
I'm gonna keep my cloak on over it.
okay.
I would like to sort of fold the scarf, the bandana into my collar so that I can still get to my little communicating thing, if that's alright.
Okay, you do so.
Yeah.
So it's just folded under. but
Like
you can
try and
actually-
like pin it into the collar so that it's underneath kind of thing.
That's easy enough to do.
Yeah.
All right. When you're ready, you reconjure your horses, which you presumably disintegrated before heading into the hidey hole.
Oh yeah, I just dismissed them as soon as we were hiding.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just crumbled into chalk dust. And you continue on your way. One last set of stealth and perception checks, then, please.
Okay.
Ooh, that's bad.
It's, stealth, that's an 18 from me.
And stealth, that's a 12 from me.
I might add a D4 to that because I can. And
Fair.
hope that I don't need them in combat later. So,
If we
yeah.
get into combat in this situation, we're really in trouble.
So yeah, that is where's my D4's gone? Got loads of them. There's one.
Oh, an extra 1 for that stealth check. And I got a dirty 20.
Okay.
Nice, okay.
Okay. As you get further towards Vondion, a new set of sounds, this time from the south.
Wait, didn't we need to roll perception?
Oh, perceptions, yes,
Yeah,
please.
my perception was 15. I was
12.
waiting for a moment.
Okay. 21.
All right. As some of the cannon fire is loud enough that you can make out individual shots. And far in the distance, you can see the plumes of smoke, or the sort of haze of smoke rising off whatever battlefield is taking place on the horizon. Seems things have gotten pretty close to Vondion these days. Even so, you do spot you hear the distant sounds of hoofbeats as another patrol comes close by, and this time when you hug close to the hillside, they carry on. You catch a bit of a glimpse of their commander. This time, not one of the captains, but it seems the head of this unit, a figure wearing the uniform of a lieutenant with the small silver stripes that mark out a mage lieutenant.
Oh.
However, you are, with sufficient forewarning and your stealth checks, you are able to pass them by. And they ride on, unaware of your presence. It is, by this point, getting late into the evening. You could try and find somewhere to rest and make the remaining few hours of travel in the morning, with the break of dawn, or you could try and press on into the night. and arrive at Vondion sometime in the early morning.
Oh,
I mean, not everybody has night vision. So
yeah.
travelling at night could be good, but also getting there on no sleep.
I don't think eagles can see at night.
Oh, you have a point there, actually.
Can I roll a nature check to see if that's...
yes.
Yeah. That is an 18.
Eagles have pretty damn good vision, but they don't necessarily have the best night vision. And more importantly, it's not the eagles that do the spotting. Eagles, giant eagles in Calcinea are not intelligent creatures. It's the riders that do the spotting, and the riders are halflings.
Right, no, they'd never spot us at night.
Right. Maybe we should keep moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're desperate, we could always try and get a rest in. If we find a hidey hole somewhere at the end of travelling, but maybe we should do our travelling at night.
We might have a better chance of getting into the city at night as well.
Yeah, I think so.
That's possible. Although I imagine with the fighting this close, it's entirely probable it's on lockdown.
Yeah. While you're making horses at some point, that takes 20 minutes anyway, doesn't it, to make 2? Might scry my brother while you're doing that next time, just because if we're going to run into him, I would like to know.
Okay. As you do indeed find a small hollow as the evening comes in. There's a growling in your stomach, Celestia, but you've eaten the previous day, so you don't start getting the gnawing hunger. So you're fine for tonight.
I will, on the way, if we're in a forest, try and find
You do.
a critter.
Just roll me a straight survival check. I'll gloss over the specific details.
That's pretty good, actually. 18.
You are actually able to find a handful of field rodents and filling yourself back up.
Don't want to be distracted.
And as Scamp is busy drawing, you focus in. So you're looking for Adrian. Let's roll a check. What is your DC again?
I believe it's 17 now. Yeah, it's gone up. 17. Sorry, we've just leveled up and I'm still getting used to all the pluses.
So there's a weird thing here because the wording is something Scamp can see for bend luck to take effect. I guess you can see Celestia. So
But it's the person's roll I affect. It's the saving throw.
Yeah.
Because I can't add or minus anything from her roll.
Yeah, it's not for her, it's for
I didn't roll. Yeah, you can't add anything really because you can't see him, I guess.
Nah, yeah.
That makes sense.
Oh, he doesn't have proficiency on that. So that's actually not quite enough. 17.
Close then.
He just fails that.
Ooh.
So this time, as you plunge into the waters, okay. And you plunge into the waters and seek out the bubble. This time you can see that the Adrian is not this time. So what would he be doing right now? Okay, yeah. Adrian is dressed once again in his disguise, but he's not near anyone. He seems to be have taken up a sniping position again, and this time you can see he's actually climbed up into what looks like a lone tree, and is just and he's got his compound bow again, the steel compound weapon bow, and is peering through. You can hear quite in the distance.
Does it look anywhere near where we are?
Roll a perception check.
Oh, 6.
Oh,
Rubbish.
It's the right terrain, but so is everything around.
So is
London.
everything else, yeah.
However, you can see that he has a small plate of metal on a little leather thong, which he pulls out from inside his sort of military issue jacket, and speaks into it in Elven. Any sight of the targets? A few moments later, a response calls back. Scouts indicate that the expected incursion is proceeding on schedule, Lord Adrian. We're expecting them to try and make a punch through any minute now near your location. Alright. I'll see if I can't cause a bit of trouble here. Then bring in the troops. Once they've made a bit of a win, I'll move south and start pushing back the lines there. Yes, sir. Folds away the little plate of metal. Draws his bow. Waits. Watches. In the distance, the movement of feet and hooves trying to keep quiet. Make another perception check.
Dirty 20.
You can you can see through the darkness. There are shapes a fair bit to the north, a fair bit off towards the northeast. What looks like a contingent of maybe... It's actually a full battalion of soldiers. Halflings, primarily, by the looks of it. What you recognise... And they all seem to be... Most of them are carrying carbines. And crawling with them, you can see there is one with the distinctive silver trim of a mage's uniform. Roll a history check. I think you probably would recognise this.
That is a 25.
This is a halfling sharpshooter regiment.
Okay.
They are essentially used... there are a handful of them in the Australian army. They're sort of an advanced elite unit. It looks like you can see the swatches of tricolour that mark them as belonging to the National Guard. They are very small swatches, and you can see where they've deliberately mucked them over with dirt. Mm-hmm. In fact, much of their uniforms have been mucked, and they're kind of making their ways carefully through the ground. Adrian slips down from his post and begins moving into a position where he's closer into range. Corzin and Scamp, roll a perception check.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Ooh. 15.
26.
Corzin, you hear in the distance the sounds of trampling hooves, many trampling hooves. Crawling up from deep. I mean, you're currently in a fairly hidden hollow, and it is dark, but you could try and see what you can make out. There is fairly heavy cloud cover since the evening has pulled in, so there's not much in the way of light, but you might be able to see some things.
I'm gonna see if I can see anything.
Okay, roll me a stealth check with advantage.
Right.
Just as you crawl out into a different position.
Well, this is a natural one, so I'm rerolling that. Okay, stealth is 21.
Okay, you kind of get up, and just as you're in a position where you would have revealed yourself as a brief as a brief gap in the clouds lets some starlight through, you slip and end up planting yourself in the mud. As you kind of come up, now covered in your own ghillie suit, as in your own little camouflage, you peer out over the rise, and you can see there is a column of about 100 cavalry making their way through, but they're not any ordinary cavalry. You recognise the distinctive black enamelled breastplates and unique and sort of nose-guarded helmets of the Ebon Guard. They carry no lights.
They don't need them.
Riding through the darkness, they have bows readied or scimitars, and they're making their way straight past the hill where you are. They don't spot you, they're not focused on you, but you see them ride along. Celestia, you watch as Adrin maneuvers into position, takes one of his arrows, coats it in something from a vial.
Can I clarify something?
Yes.
The person who was talking to him on his fantasy walkie-talkie, because I can't think of another word for it right now.
Sending stone?
There we go, yeah. Thank you. Dear God. Was talking in Elven, yeah?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, less a sending stone and more like a messenger plate, but yeah, message plate, but yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
sending stone is still a better term than fantasy walkie-talkie.
True, yeah.
Sounded much better
Sending
than I
stone
did
will
there.
do. But yeah, there's definitely a message going through. And he waits until they get closer and closer, and then draws the bow and leans down, sort of taps the plate with his chin and calls, "Now." He looses the first shot, immediately draws another and looses it, and the arrow the arrow finds its mark as it sprouts in the chest of the halfling mage, who begins to convulse both from, the arrow to the chest and the effects of the poison. Immediately the halflings you hear cries of alarm as more arrows begin finding marks that they've chosen.
These ones are National Assembly.
It's
getting weird.
Yeah,
man.
and you hear from the distance the rising sounds of
sides.
hooves approaching, as suddenly a full wing of 100 mounted Ebon Guard come over the rise and plough down towards the sharpshooters. They start firing shots with their carbines back, but the guard loose a volley of arrows first and then lay in with scimitars. As the melee joins, Adrin fires a couple more shots, takes stock of things, says, "All right, all units, head south. Now let's start pushing back the lines close to Vondion." And they move, and he immediately begins skulking southwards towards the sound of the distant cannon fire. It's about in the middle of this that the bubble draws in. The pair of you, by the way, have already heard the distant sound of gunshots being exchanged, because those are audible for a good quarter mile.
Oh.
Fair enough.
And you see Celestia re-emerge from her trance.
So I'm just going to say I relay all of this, because there is no part of that I would not say. I would try and be as thorough as possible.
Yeah, and Corzin is going to say, we saw the avant-garde. They were passed by us up there.
How many?
Did we?
There's a column of them.
Like 100-ish.
Yeah, must have been.
Oh, shit. I saw them. When did they leave? Like, pretty recently?
A couple of minutes ago.
Yep, they arrived in where I was a couple of minutes ago. We're really close.
But they're going south.
They're going south.
So we just loop around a different way.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, we were lucky there that we went slightly further forwards, weren't we?
Proof positive, though, that he must be playing each side off against each other.
He's fucking with both of them. What would you achieve from that?
Well, he's perpetuating the war, isn't
power.
he? Both sides are going to be weakened by this.
I suppose his
ultimately.
orders must be to make it carry on. Or make it worse. You know?
Increases the need for the avant-garde if
Yeah.
they're losing people mysteriously.
Yeah, I suppose if the idea is they come in and they're like the little hero troop, it'll make them look valuable again. Because they're a bit disgraced after the whole king situation, aren't they?
Yeah.
You said that the avant-garde are essentially mercenaries.
Yeah.
So, if it isn't your family who's directly doing this, then could it be that there's some other party that's hired them to do this?
I mean, my guess is they're being employed by the royalists.
But why would the royalists want to kill their own men?
Well, it's not the avant-garde doing it. It's
That's
Adrian.
Adrian.
He's his own thing. He's creating the market.
Yeah.
Ah.
That would make sense as orders from my family. Because frankly, if I was fighting in a war, I'd want the avant-garde on my side. And if he makes that look more attractive by fucking everything up and making the rest of the army look like a shambles so that they hire the best, that could make sense, couldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Tidy little sum for your family, then.
Yeah, not just that, potential proper power and value up here if it goes far enough.
Yeah.
You know, money's money, but my family has a fuckload of money. They're not short. Unless something has radically changed since I left.
Well, in any case, it's as we suspected then. Right. Did you catch any indication of which direction they were moving off in so we can go?
South.
Right, okay.
They wanted to push the front back. So if there's any way we can go round where they're going, that might be a lovely idea, but I don't know if we can.
You thinking about it may be able to sort of loop around northwest before going more south.
Yeah, we could do a little loopy thing, couldn't we?
I think that's our best bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we know they're going a place, it's just stupid to follow them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Would
loop.
it be worth sending to Savat about this? Because we now have proof that the avant-garde are involved in some way.
True, actually.
The avant-garde have... you witnessed the avant-garde take out an entire battalion's worth of assembly troops.
Did they know the avant-garde were involved anyway?
I thought they did.
I believe they
Yes, because
stated that, yes.
he told me in the last sending spell.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is something they know.
Didn't they tell us that yesterday?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I remember. Sorry, I'm a bit tired.
It's alright, we all are.
I know.
We've been riding hard.
But I think we'll be safer if we can get into the city at least.
I agree.
Yeah. We should try and do that before we get any rest.
You make your way onwards. It is late and you're having to push yourself on. So can I actually ask for a constitution check from everyone, please?
Okay.
Check rather than save.
Check rather than save.
8.
14.
I so want to tides this.
You
Because
can
it
if you
feels
want.
important, so I'm going to. And this is a really dumb thing to do. Okay, that was worth it though. 20... Come on, load you... I've not reloaded my page for a while and it decided to vanish. It's
mate.
either a 21 or a 22 or a 23, I think.
Regardless,
it's 22.
that's
20.
3.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a flat 3.
Celestia,
I rolled a 2.
Combined with the bad quality of sleep you got last night, the fact that Scamp woke you up early and everything,
Nah.
and the long hard ride as you make your way onwards, you are just knackered. You gain level of exhaustion.
I'll need some coffee before when I go to sleep.
Yeah.
At least one
No,
can be negated
just
with coffee.
sleep.
I don't know if I
Sleep
can't
and
get
it goes
rid of
away.
Before, you know, that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried when I'm doing it tonight.
No! No! Sleep!
Nevertheless, you do make your way onwards around to you actually reach, going north and west a bit. You actually reach the River Vond and follow its banks south. In the darkness, the city is almost looming as you approach, but there are lots of little lights, and from a distance you can see where Vondion rises above the rugged plains, whose many slopes would be burgeoning with the grapes of the region's famous vineyards in better times. The city is built around a hill near the bend of the river, and in places the ground has been carved almost into terraces to support the layers of the city. A medieval castle was raised up at the city's centre, at some point extended into more of a palace, with sprawling streets and houses flowing outwards to and beyond the ancient stone walls. At some point, however, modern defensive bastions with cannon placements were established, and you can see against the light of the torches, the lanterns upon the bastion edges, that they are currently heavily garrisoned, especially since the front is now close enough that the very distant echo of cannon fire can be heard from the walls themselves. You approach the city of Vondion. It is dark. It is about 2 o'clock in the morning, and the gates are not surprisingly closed. How would you like to proceed?
How high are the walls?
The walls are around 60 feet in height, being classic medieval walls. The bastions are actually a bit lower around the edges, but with far more sort of, but much wider and broader, because they have the earth emplacements used to defend against cannon attacks.
How... Are there any buildings showing over the top of the walls? Can we see any buildings from the outside?
Buildings from the outside that you can see that go over the walls. It's an interesting thing. Not near the walls, but further in, because of the nature of the stepped hill, the parts of the city do actually rise. Particularly the castle rises slightly over the height of the wall.
Anything within 500 feet of outside the wall?
Roll me a perception check with disadvantage.
I was going to say, is there anything that's obviously a cathedral?
That's going to be too far, sure.
There is a cathedral, yes.
Oh, with disadvantage, that's still a 15.
15.
Not bad with disadvantage, mate.
The
Yeah.
other one was a natural 20.
Oh, it's a shame when that happens, isn't it?
Okay, within 500. Yes. They're kind of scouting it from a distance. You can just see there is... You can just make out the outline of one what looks like maybe a warehouse or something, which rises just slightly enough over the top of the wall that was overbuilt, essentially, that you can make out its roof and what looks like maybe an attic window or something. By the way, one other thing you can see, one of the bastions is a little bit wider than the others, but a little bit longer. And that particular long, wide appearance is interesting because you can just make out that. So part of the bastion is a long, flat sort of approach, and there's a section which is recessed in within, over which hoardings have been built. And you can see why, because although very few are moving around, you do see that there are a handful that do just some small amount of scouting, because just silhouette against the torches, you can just make out a pair of large winged shapes swoop down and make their landing on what is essentially the airstrip of the bastion.
It's got a helipad.
Before the handlers begin taking care, before the riders dismount and the handlers begin taking care of the giant eagles and leading them down to rest. I mean, less of a helipad, more of a runway, but yes.
Cool. Basically super cool.
Officially, the name is an eyrie. But yes.
It's a good word.
Peering into the distance, you can actually see far overhead the glimmer of other figures, just other shapes that silhouette briefly against the clouds. And sometimes below them in the distance, the flares of bombs going off in streaks before they return back for more ammunition or rest. Still, you ride, keeping quiet, keeping dark, close within 500 feet as the Scamp flies
of that warehouse. I don't have to see it now. I just need to know where somewhere is.
Okay,
I think I can get us in.
What was your crazy, amazing magic thing?
No, I was going to just imagine getting through and that would do it. Yes, magic.
So that was my way of clarifying between hopping between places scarily and flying. By the crazy, amazing magic thing, I meant the hopping between places. I can't imagine why you didn't understand. I was very clear.
So
It's been a long day.
We're going to do the subtle one, not the big blazing hole in the universe one.
That's probably a good idea. Also, you need a circle for that, don't you? You need one of those weird stone things.
Yeah. So...
Can you take all of us on the other one?
Not in one trip. You stay here. And I'm going to grab Corzin and Dimension Door.
Wait, is it...
onto that roof.
And again, there's this sort of weird disorientation as you're in two places at once. And then you're in one place on top of a roof.
Stay here. I'm going back for Celestia. And I'm going back again.
There's a 65-foot drop to the pavement.
That's alright, we're inside the walls.
Yep. You see, as you watch the Scamp just doesn't exactly flicker, they just sort of fade out of existence. And then a few moments later, fade back into existence with a Celestia next to them.
Oh, hello.
There's a small sort of puff of air around initially there's a small sort of breeze as air is vacuumed into the place they were, and then a small puff as it's pushed out.
Well, it beats getting shot, doesn't it?
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that's much higher up than I thought it'd be.
Ooh, it's very disorientating.
That is
3/4 level spells in 18 seconds.
Oh.
Wow.
The two distant forms of Boring and Boring stare balefully up for a moment before crumbling into the chalk.
Aww.
No.
Nevertheless.
Boring and Boring might be my favourite horse names. Although there was the seahorse called Bethany, and nothing has ever quite beat that for me.
You have made your way into the city of Ondiond. It is late, and you will likely need rest before you can proceed with your mission. But proceed you may. Next time.
Just leave us on a roof, 65 feet up in the air.
Oh, yes. I'm sure you'll make your way down. Ah!
Well, one way or the other.
I've got fly, we're all good.
Things went really
Yeah.
well when I last fell off a roof. So
So,
it's the closest this character has come so far to being dead.
thank you all very much for playing. Thank you all very much for listening. And farewell from all of us here at Flintlocks and Fireballs. Fair seas and natural 20s.
I'm not okay, it's all a haze, and memories scattered through a maze. We're hidden, sneaking through the mud, and all the while I still crave blood.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.